On a chilly autumn evening, the game is at Crawford Stadium, a key Suburban 1 League matchup between the 5-1 North Penn Knights and the 4-3 CB East Patriots. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to North Penn Television's exclusive coverage of North Penn Knights football. Along with Joe Alcaro, I'm Kyle Berger, and taking a look at the North Penn Knights, Joe, really they've done an excellent job against a Suburban 1 League schedule that has been pretty difficult this year, and coming in with a 5-1 record, they really are looking forward to getting into the playoffs.
Exactly. Like you said, the 5-1 record is very representative of a good season. Their only loss came to a great CB West team, which is number 1 in the area and number 2 in the state. Yeah.
Well, Joe, we're going to take a look at those highlights from the Pennsbury match last week. On Friday afternoon, the North Penn Knights went to Pennsbury and defeated them by a score of 35-10. So to the highlight reel we'll go. We'll pick up the action at Pennsbury Stadium as North Penn got things started. On the first drive of the game, Nate Bielhauer took over on this drive, getting runs of 15 yards right there and a 25-yard trap up the middle, deep into Pennsbury territory, and that would set up halfback Heike Johnson on this sweep to get the scoring started. 7-0, North Penn took the lead. The kickoff from North Penn drove Pennsbury deep into their own territory, but they engineered a 96-yard drive that took up 10 minutes of the clock, getting big runs from their running back, Chris Schaefer. He'll get inside the 20 on this, and in the next quarter on the same drive, Dave Schimpf would find a wide-open Josh Jarzik, 7-7 North Penn. The Knights were forced to punt on their next possession, and Pennsbury would take over. Josh Jarzik could not find the handle on this deep pass from Dave Schimpf, but the Falcons would be able to get a field goal to close out the scoring in the second half, or in the first half rather, 10-7. The Knights got things started in the second half when Aaron Thomas picked up this inside reverse and said goodbye to the Falcons defense. 70 yards later, untouched, it's 14-10 Knights on the run by the sophomore. Another big play for the Knights as Jason Payne picks off this pass from Dave Schimpf. 52 yards down the field, he goes untouched. 21-10, North Penn takes the lead. Misfortune continues for Pennsbury as their punter drops the ball, and ouch, North Penn will take over. They'll pick up action in the next quarter. Heike Johnson, his second touchdown of the game on the 7-yard option run into the end zone. 28-10 is the score. North Penn leads. And Tom Parentozzi, the quarterback, closes out the scoring for the Knights, making the score 35-10, and that was your final. The Knights outscored the Falcons 28-0 in that second half. So your final score, 35-10 from Pennsbury. Back now at Crawford Stadium, where we'll now take a look at what Coach Pettin had to say this week about tonight's game against CB East. And Joe, they bring a really potent running back to the table in Brian Scott.
You're right, Brian Scott's an outstanding running back. He has nice bursts of speed, and he only needs 86 yards tonight to get 1,000 for the season, Kyle.
Well, we're going to take a look at what Coach Pettin had to say about Brian Scott and the rest of the CB East offense this week.
The number one thing is, as you mentioned before with the running back, is we have to stop Brian Scott. That's a priority. But at the same time, you can't lose sight of some of the other talents they have. Their quarterback, Justin Habel's a very good athlete, runs very well. They have a fullback, Manny Stepakis, who has put up some big numbers, and he's a guy that you can't forget about. So I think our key this week is going to be defensively, and it's going to be geared to stopping Scott, but at the same time not losing sight of everybody else and the concept of team
So a
defense.
defensive effort is crucial for North Penn tonight, but let's not forget about that playoff picture for the Knights, Joe.
You're right. They're going to have to win the last 3 games this season to secure a playoff bid in the districts, and it would be really nice to get a good start here against a good CB West club tonight.
Here's what Coach Pettin had to say this week about North Penn's playoff aspirations.
Magic number's 3. If we want to make the district playoffs, we have to run the table, and East is a hurdle that's in our way. So we're going to prepare for them like we've prepared for everybody else and go into this game expecting to play well.
The Knights should be able to get things started tonight against the Patriots, a rather tough team coming out of CB West with a record of 4-3. But let's not overlook the next week's matchup against Neshaminy, who boasts a high-power passing attack led by quarterback Jim Dietz, a stark contrast to tonight's matchup against the running game of CB East, led by running back Brian Scott. And here's what Coach Mike Pettin Jr. had to say about the varied offenses of the Suburban 1 League football.
The league that we're in, you really get presented with different problems each week. So it's part of being successful in this league is having the flexibility in your system where you can stop the run one week, and then turn around and stop the pass the next. A fullback-oriented offense like West, a tailback-oriented offense like Council Rock or CB East or throwing offense like Neshaminy. So you have to be flexible, and your kids have to be pretty much ready for any look.
So North Penn is ready to get things going against CB East tonight, and we'll have all the big plays for you right here on North Penn Television. So keep it locked on Channel 16. We'll be back with the opening kickoff after this. Stay with us.
They've given our generation a label, X, Generation Nothing. They say we have no sense of purpose. They say we have no cause to believe in. Who are they? Join the thousands of us who are making a difference and wear a label that does mean something.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium, where the North Penn Knights are going to host the Central Bucks East Patriots in Suburban 1 League action. The Knights are about to take the field on this homecoming game, a big game for the Knights as they need to win the next three, the final three of the season rather, against CB East this week, Neshaminy next week, and Norristown on Halloween night in Norristown to secure their district playoff berth as the Knights take the field, led by their captains for tonight, Kenrick Smith, Nate Vielhauer, Andrew Seitz, and Mike Mays. Of course, Kenrick Smith filling in for the injured Jason Payne in his captaincy role. Joe, let's take a look at some keys to the game tonight for the Knights.
Like we mentioned in the pregame show, a big deal for North Penn is going to be to stop Brian Scott. He's an explosive back out of the backfield. He makes big plays, and just stopping him is going to be a big key. Also, the offensive line needs to get really beat down on the CB East offensive line, who's a little smaller than them and can't match up to them physically. And scoring first is always a big one, Kyle. You just want to get the momentum in your favor, especially, like you mentioned, going into the last 3 games of the season, wanting to make the playoffs. You want to win this one, so you want to get the momentum of this game in your favor by scoring first.
Thanks, Joe. And look at some of the notes we have for this game. Mike Kapusta is really going to be a key player for the Knights on defense tonight. He had a great game, 11 tackles, including a couple huge hits against Pennsbury last week. I was at that game, and he really stepped up, and he should be able to fill in for the injured Jason Payne, and they'll also be moving Hakeed Johnson up to Jason Payne's outside linebacker role. So Hakeed will have to play both ways tonight, and they'll also get Parentozzi a little more involved in the defense. So we see Parentozzi lining up the opening kickoff. The Knights in dark blue and gray pants will be moving from left to right on your screen, kicking off to the carbon copy of the New England Patriots uniform, the CB East Patriots. They'll be moving from right to left, and back to receive is Brian Scott along with Manny Stupakis. The squib kick will be taken by Scott inside his 5-yard line. He's out to the 10 toward the near sideline, 15, 20, 25, and tackled at the 30 by Clay Kucklick, among other North Penn Knights. So good field position for the Patriots as they start their offensive push here, Joe.
Right, on that last play, you're going to pretty much see what we're going to see all night. Brian Scott, he's got long legs, long strides, and you just got to get to his legs if you're a defensive player. You got to cut him down at the waist. You don't want him to get any more leg drive than he possibly can.
And Brian Scott comes into this game with 130 rushes for 914 yards and 14 touchdowns, a 7.3 yard per carry average. He'll be split in the backfield with fullback Tony Bevavino. Justin Habel is the quarterback for the Patriots under center. He'll take the snap and give off tackle right side to Brian Scott. He'll bust it trying to get around the corner. Good job of containing by the Knights defense. And Joe, that's a real key to this game. These defensive ends are going to have to contain if they're going to stop Brian Scott.
Right, that was a great play by Martin Leonard, the strong safety, to step up, see that Brian Scott was running to the outside, and just cut him off at the path.
Of course, North Penn's defense has really been playing well this year. They've come up with the big plays when they need to on defense. Last week, a 52-yard interception returned by the now injured Jason Payne. And really, they've stopped their other opponents' backs when they need to. And we'll talk about that as time goes by in this game. Abel takes the snap, gives up to Scott up the middle, gets about 4 yards on that play, setting up a 3rd and 9. So not much doing for the Patriots thus far. And Joe, as we were talking about before that play, the Knights defense really doing a good job keying against the other team's strong backs this year, namely Alex Wade from Council Rock, who the Knights basically shut down. And he really had his worst game of the year against North Penn. And they also did a good job of shutting down Keith Davis of Ben Salem. We'll see what they can do against Brian Scott, one of the premier backs in the area tonight. He's the single setback with Tony Bevabino, and Habel will take the snap. Inside reverse, it's Manny Stupakis. Can he get the first down? Yes, he's by the defense. Kendrick Smith, a good open field tackle. So a little inside reverse there to the running back Manny Stupakis, I believe, and he picks up 15 yards and a CB East first down.
Stupakis is listed at 5'9". He might be a little shorter than that, Kyle. He does a good job of keeping his body low to the ground and making sharp cuts like we just saw right there. That was a nice play by CB's offensive coach calling that play. It really fooled North Penn's defense.
And Stupakis really complements Brian Scott real well. They both run 4.5 40-yard dashes, so a couple speedsters in the backfield for CB East tonight. First and 10, CB East, inside handoff. It goes to Bevavino. Busts it outside, picks up about 5 yards and goes out of bounds on that far side. 2 minutes into this game, still scoreless. It'll be second and we'll call it 4 for CB East. Pickup of 6 on that play for the fullback, Tony Bevavino.
We mentioned the key to the game is the scoring first, but also in your first drive to keep the ball for a long amount of time and not let the other offense get right into the scoring drive.
So CB East has been running the ground game thus far. 2.5 minutes into this opening quarter of action in North Penn's homecoming game. Hable takes a snap and gives to Brian Scott. Cuts it outside off tackle. Picks up about 10 yards and another CB East first down. Looks like CB East is just going to be running that off tackle play to Brian Scott, and you can't blame him with a talent like him.
You're right. When it's working, you don't try to stop anything, Kyle. And it really is working right now for CB East. Brian Scott really had a great breakthrough year last year as a sophomore. He really stepped up his play, got his name noticed by a lot of scouts in the area. He is one of the Division I prospects only as a junior this year.
Great all-around athlete as well. Split to the near side is wide receiver Rob Linders. Backs in the I formation, Bevavino and Scott. Here's Scott on 1st and 10. Picks up about 2 on that play. Tackle made by number 76, Dave Koslow for the Knights. So a pickup of 2, 2nd and 8 for CB West inside the North Penn 37-yard line.
That was a nice play by the defensive line. They finally got to Scott right off the ball. They just broke down the offensive line on that play, and Scott tried to make a little run back, but he just couldn't cut back in time. And anytime you can hold Scott to 2 yards or 1.5 yards on a play, you're really doing a good job.
Especially with an average of 7.3 a carry. That's really a moral victory for the defense, only giving up 2 yards. So we're at 2nd and 8. Ball on the North Penn 37-yard line. Quick pitch to Scott off the right side. Mays gets beat to the outside but recovers, and Scott is knocked out of bounds by several North Penn players. So Mike Mays does a good job of not only containing but just getting in the way of Brian Scott and making him try to cut up the field, where he was met by several North Penn Knights defenders.
You're right. You could tell Scott didn't want to make that cut there, Kyle, but he was persuaded to by Mays after chasing after him. Mays did a good job of coming around the outside end to get to Scott on that play.
3rd and 8, ball on the North Penn 37-yard line. No gain on that last play by Scott. The Patriots will go with twins left, Manny Stupakis and Brian Scott, who also double as excellent wide receivers for the Patriots. Hable with the quarterback draw up the middle, stuffed by Dave Koslow and Mike Mays, the 2 defensive ends. Dropping back, a big hit on that play. That'll bring up 4th and 4 for Patriots. It appears that they might be in 4-down territory and might go for it here, of course. Their quarterback, Justin Hable, is also their punter, so we'll have to see what they do out of this formation. 4th and 4 on the 33-yard line of North Penn. I guess they'll go for it here, Joe.
Yeah, right, but anytime your quarterback is the punter, there's always that little key for a fake punt, which we saw against CB West when North Penn ran it with Parentozzi. So
it's Scott and Stupakis split left, single setback, Bevavino. Hable back to pass. The fade pattern to Scott. Parentozzi. Oh my, Brian Scott somehow catches that ball. I don't believe that. Parentozzi appeared to have good position, but Brian Scott with his 6'2", 200 frame is able to get over the 5'11", 165-pound frame of Tom Parentozzi. Ball knocked around a little bit. Scott picks it up, and it's a 33-yard touchdown for the CB East Patriots. They're on the board 6-0 with 7:20 left in the first quarter. On to kick the extra point is number 53, Tim Becker. Hable with the hold. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0. CB East comes up with the first touchdown of this game. And already Brian Scott has 64 yards rushing. 64 total yards, rather. We'll take a look at this catch by Brian Scott.
It's just great timing on Scott's part here. And not only using his 6'2" body, but his also great vertical jump, which he he might have gotten from basketball. He is really one of the better area basketball players, too.
So Brian Scott with a very athletic play, showing why he's one of the best all-around receivers and backs in the area. He's also CB East's leading receiver, has 16 receptions coming into this game for 250 yards and an average of 15.63 yards per carry. One point I'd like to make, Joe, Brian Scott is such an explosive back that in every game this year so far, and that's 7 games for CB East, and make that now 8 games, that he's scored a touchdown of at least 30 yards in length. So this guy is a big play back and receiver for the Patriots, and there's no replacement for that.
You're right. CB East almost counts on him to make these big plays for them. All around, they're not the best of teams. They have a 4-3 record, but with a great player like Brian Scott, who can carry a team like he does, it's a big advantage.
So Justin Habel will line up to kick this one off for CB East. Heike Johnson and Aaron Thomas back deep to receive for the Knights. Habel with the kick. It's a high wobbler. It'll be taken on the far side by Aaron Thomas at his 5-yard line. They're going to run a little scrum coming out of it. Who has the ball? Looked like Aaron Thomas actually kept that, and CB East would have nothing of that trickery as he's stuffed inside his 10-yard line at the 7. So North Penn trying to come out with a little pickup football play right there, coming out of that flying V. And CB East did a good job of staying at home and picking up Aaron Thomas on that one.
That's really a tough call to make on the first kickoff, though, Kyle. It's a very close call to make, but CB East really wasn't fooled on that play, as we saw. They just came right through the pile and just tackled Thomas, who still had the ball. It wasn't even like a trick play.
So Parentozzi will come out of the shotgun here. It looks like the Knights will start to pass. No backs in the backfield. Now they're going to come up to a 2-back set, Vielhauer and Johnson. Mays lined up in the slot as the tight end on the near side. Parentozzi takes it, gives it up the middle to Vielhauer. Nowhere for the Knights. So Vielhauer cannot get things started for the Knights. A little formation change right there, and the Knights could not fool the Patriots on that play.
You're right. All that motion in the backfield really didn't fool the Patriots' defensive line, who had great push into the offensive section of North Penn.
So 2nd and 10 on the North Penn 7-yard line. 6:40 to go in this first quarter. 7-0, the Patriots have the lead. Parentozzi will line up under center. Backs in the I now move to an open set. Vielhauer and Johnson. Parentozzi calls for a timeout. Did not like what he saw. So North Penn will try to get things settled down here. And really, Joe, when you look at trick plays such as that kickoff return, they're either a big momentum swing in the game or they can really kill you, as it seems like the momentum right here is into CB East's hands after they have stopped that trick play on that kickoff return. And they did a good job of staying at home in their lanes and came up and stuffed Aaron Thomas inside the 10-yard line. So North Penn has 93 yards to get onto the board. So that trick play right there could have backfired against the Knights' offensive game plan.
Especially since the defense has made a nice stop on Vielhauer up the middle, too, which has also given the defense a little more momentum. North Penn really should just try to run an outside play here just to get some yardage, not just to get away from the end zone. You don't want to be near your defending end zone.
Yeah, North Penn coming into this game is averaging 193.8 yards on the ground on offense and 87.8 yards through the air for a total of 281.7 yards a game. And the Patriots, meanwhile, have 177.3 yards per game on the ground. Most of those are Brian Scott's yards, 75.6 through the air, and those are probably mostly Brian Scott's too, 252.9 yards of total offense. So North Penn with the 2nd and 10 on their own 7. Tight formation. Parentozzi gives it to Johnson, and he'll get outside the 10 to the 11 or 12-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on that play, setting up a 3rd and 6 for North Penn on their 11-yard line. Kenrick Smith and Lou Mims will check into the game, and coming out are the 2 tight ends, Mike Mays and Matt Hertz. So North Penn will probably be going to a passing formation here on 3rd and 6, Joe.
You would think they go to a passing formation, but North Penn does have a couple explosive backs of their own with Heike Johnson and Lou Mims, and Nate Vielhauer also can break one. So, you never know with North Penn. They show a lot of different plays early in the game, every game.
So North Penn with 3 players in the backfield, Mims, Vielhauer, and Johnson. Fitzpatrick and Smith are your wideouts. Now, Vielhauer in motion to the far side. It's an option play. Heike Johnson looking to cut it up. Can he get the first down? Yes, he's out to the 30. 35, 40, 45, and shoved out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A great play call by Coach Pettin on the option. And North Penn has a first down at the 46-yard line. A big pickup on that play of about 35 yards, Joe.
Exactly what I was talking about. Explosive backs can make big plays at any point in the game. And a great play by Coach Pettin, the call. East really probably wasn't looking for an option there, and they were looking more for a pass since Vielhauer went out of his set in the backfield and went out for, but he was just going out there for a block, and nice play by North Penn.
Parentozzi takes a snap, quick give up the middle, a little miscommunication there. Vielhauer stuffed for a 2-yard loss. Ball will now be spotted at the 45-yard line, just inside the 45-yard line, 2nd and 12. North Penn still down 7-0 with 5:15 to go in the first quarter. So Vielhauer looked like he wanted to go to the left side, and Parentozzi tried to hand that one off to the right side, and a little miscommunication. And that results in the 2-yard loss for North Penn.
And Scott Toka really didn't care where they were going. He was just going for the ball on that play.
And Scott Toka is really one of the anchors of this defense for East. He had 3 sacks 2 weeks ago, including a forced fumble that resulted in an East touchdown. So he's one of the captains on this defense. Heike Johnson off tackle across midfield and down to the 46-yard line into CB East territory. Pickup of about 9 on that play, and it will be 3rd and 4. Heike Johnson picking up 7 or 8 on that play. 4:30 to go. And North Penn in a 3rd and 4. Tough call right here, Joe. Let's see what they do. Evan Fitzpatrick will line up as a tight end. Twins left will be Vielhauer and Johnson. Now they go into a different formation. Open set. Vielhauer and Johnson in the backfield. Parentozzi split to the left. It's a give to Johnson off tackle. He gets the first down and busted inside the 35-yard line. Heike Johnson getting the calls early on and making the most of them.
Right, Johnson's trying to tell us, hey, we've heard a lot about this Scott guy, but don't forget about me. I'm Heike Johnson, and I can run the ball just as well. Just because I'm a sophomore, I might not. Just because I don't have as much experience, I'm just as good.
Yeah, Heike Johnson coming into the game, 78 carries, 421 yards for 5 touchdowns and a 5.4 per carry average. He has about half as many carries as Brian Scott and has about half as many yards, so they're basically evenly matched. They just haven't been giving the ball to Heike Johnson as much as Brian Scott, but that's all part of Coach Pettin's game plan. Parentozzi, the quick counter to Heike Johnson, and the defense of CB East picks up on it. And stopping Heike Johnson on that play was Scott Toka once again with the big tackle. No gain, 2nd and 10 for North Penn on the CB East 34-yard line.
You really hate to limit a running back to one style of running, but Johnson is a better open field, get around the corner kind of running back. Vielhauer's better right up the middle, and on that play you could kind of see why Heike Johnson didn't have anywhere to go, and a result of loss of yardage.
Parentozzi in the shotgun. Now he'll come up under center. Trips left. Fitzpatrick, Smith, and Johnson. Vielhauer the single setback. Parentozzi will take the keeper. Gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage by number 75, Paul Marini. So it'll set up a 3rd and 7. Pickup of maybe 3 on that play by Parentozzi. And Joe, even though the Knights are faced with the 3rd and long here, they've really taken up a decent amount of clock time and have gotten a good drive together. So they will need to get a couple, maybe about 15 more yards before they're in Parentozzi's field goal range. So we'll see what they can do on this 3rd and 8 play from CB East 31-yard line. Parentozzi in a shotgun with Heike Johnson in the backfield. Now he'll come under center. Fitzpatrick in motion to the right. He's set now. Mays in the slot. Vielhauer and Johnson in the backfield. The give is to Johnson, and he cuts up 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and taken out of bounds by Brian Scott, who took him step for step to the 5-yard line. Heike Johnson blowing up here in the first quarter, Joe.
Great job by the offensive line on that play. Great push. Opened up a humongous hole for Johnson to get through. And as soon as Johnson gets through that hole, watch out. He's a very explosive back like we've been talking about.
And if it weren't for the speed of Brian Scott, Heike Johnson was in pay dirt. 1st and goal, North Penn at the 5-yard line. Johnson will come off and catch a breather. He's well deserving of that rest. A great job on the running plays this drive by Heike Johnson. Parentozzi now under center, full house backfield. Vielhauer will take this up the middle, runs into a pile of players, is tackled from behind by number 24. That's Tony Bevavino. Pickup of 1 on that play, setting up 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line, under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter.
Nothing really doing on that play, Kyle. They were just trying to get some extra yardage right within the goal line.
So North Penn, we can really expect to see them stick with Nate Vielhauer. He's been the go-to guy around the goal line this year, and he's coming off his best game of this season, 102 yards on 12 carries versus Pennsbury last week. Parentozzi in the shotgun. Coach is calling for a timeout on the sideline. North Penn's 2nd timeout already in this drive. And really, although it seems that that's not a very good thing to call their 2nd timeout already, which it really isn't, it's better to have a timeout and be safe than be sorry. Right around the goal line, you do not want to cause a turnover. So the North Penn Knights have driven about 90 yards so far, thanks to 86 yards on the ground already by Heike Johnson, who's really stepped it up in this first quarter for the Knights. And like you said earlier, Joe, hey, there may be a Brian Scott on the CB East team, but we got a Heike Johnson who's ready to match him stride for stride. And they had a little meeting on the sideline on that last big play by Johnson. So we'll see what they go with here. Coach Pettin talking it over with his troops on the field. They're going to bring in the big formation. Mike Mays is going to come in. He'll be replacing Wadishu Haybar. Check that. That was Matt Hertz coming off the field. So North Penn has driven 87 yards in this drive, and Heike Johnson has all but 1 of those yards. Second and goal from the 4 as North Penn sets up in their formation, down 7-0. Clock stopped at 1:33 to go in the first quarter. Full house backfield, Vielhauer, Mims, and Johnson. The give is to Vielhauer inside. And is finally tackled. A lot of sideways running right there. No gain on that play. 3rd and 4. Not a lot of north and south, just east and west on that play, Joe.
Yeah, and East is doing a real good job on the inside runs. They really haven't let North Penn get any between the tackle runnings, but outside the tackles where all their damage has been done. So North Penn probably should go back to that with Heike Johnson here and just get a touchdown.
So it will be 3rd and goal from the 4. Lou Mims will come off the field. They'll split Evan Fitzpatrick to the left. Parentozzi in the shotgun. We'll probably see him go under center, and he does. Now Fitzpatrick will come to the right. Mike Mays in the slot. Vielhauer and Johnson in the backfield. Payne gives it off to Johnson, and he's into the end zone for the Knights. Touchdown. So North Penn within 1 as Heike Johnson gets a well-deserved touchdown after marching the Knights almost single-handedly down the field. But let's not overlook the offensive line, Joe. Excellent job by the Knights offensive line.
You're right. We talked about them earlier during the keys of the game and how they were going to be a big part against a little smaller CB East lineup, and they really have done a great job tonight.
Parentozzi will set up for the extra point. Kenrick Smith will do the holding. Trying to get this game tied up with 42 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Ball is snapped, the kick is spotted, it's up, and it's good. 7-all is your score, 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. And here's a look at that Heike Johnson run right off tackle and into the end zone. Look at that great push by the offensive line. McKelvey, Mays, Koslow, you just can't ask for anything better than that out of the Knights offensive line.
You're right. They almost ran like a student body right with a couple pulling guards on that play, Kyle. They just did that marching down the field on that drive, and they should stay with it. I mean, it is working. They're picking on the left side of CB East defense, and Coach Patton might just want to stay with that, like I said.
So North Penn really did not get burnt too badly by Brian Scott on the ground, although they gave up that 33-yard reception. Not much you can do about that. That was more of a luck play than anything else. Parentozzi had great coverage on that. So Brian Scott comes up with a big reception. And that's the reason why this game is tied after North Penn comes back. Parentozzi will kick off for North Penn with 42 seconds left. Stupakis and Scott, the two speedsters, standing on their 4-yard line, ready to receive this kickoff. Parentozzi awaits the whistle and gets it from the official. He'll approach the ball. And the kick is a squibber, a low liner picked at the 8-yard line by Stupakis. He'll cut it outside out to the 30 and tackled at the 32-yard line. Manny Stupakis with a good return, so the CB East Patriots have about the same field position they did for their first drive. We'll see if the Knights defense can hold on this one.
You're right. East really has had better field position than North Penn so far. North Penn was down back on their 5-yard line, I believe, and it was like a 3rd and 7, if I'm right, Kyle. And they just broke it right from there. They had a lot of tough 3rd down plays, but they got the whole drive going.
So CB East will set up their offense. Split to the near side is Rob Linders. And Bevavino and Scott in the backfield in the I formation. Now it's Brian Scott up the middle, tackled by Dave Koslow. There was a fumble on that play. I believe it was ruled to have hit the ground, however. Pickup of 4 or 5 on that play. 2nd and 5 for CB East. Ball at the 36. Inside 15 seconds to go. We'll see if East tries to get this play off or if they'll just wait for the end of the quarter.
Both teams really did a good job of having a lot of time of possession in both their drives.
Justin Habel will watch the clock run out. 7-7 is the score as the end of the first quarter is upon us. So a good quarter by both teams, only 2 drives throughout that quarter. And Heike Johnson gets the 4-yard touchdown run to tie things up after Brian Scott had received a 32-yard touchdown reception. We'll be back with second quarter action at Crawford Stadium after this. Stay with us on North Penn Television.
What if you had to choose between a flower and an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Could you choose between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Now you can choose all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. Along with Joe Alcaro, I'm Kyle Berger. The Knights are tied with the Patriots 7-7 right now. Look at some stats from the first quarter. Total yards, North Penn had 91. CB East had 79 yards total. Most of them were on one drive for each team. Scott will take this reverse. Good job of containing by Mike Mays, and Nate Vielhauer brings down Scott in the backfield. And that's what we said at the beginning of this show, Joe, that those defensive ends have to contain, and Mike Mays does an excellent job of that. And Brian Scott has his helmet knocked off by Vielhauer.
Just a great job by Mays on that play. Not letting the tight end turn him and letting Scott get around him for the break. Mays is playing great so far, and not letting Scott do what I just said. He's just got to keep that up for the rest of the game.
Justin Habel under center, backs in the eye, Bevavino and Scott. Knights showing blitz, and here it comes. It's Scott on the counter. Check that, it's Habel, and he's stuffed on that keeper. Martin Leonard, good job of the read on the keeper, not biting the Scott fake like I did. And Martin Leonard coming up with a big hit.
Habel just got killed on that play by Leonard. Leonard has made 2 great plays we've seen so far from him, reading the ball, not following the misdirection like you did, Kyle, and coming up and just making the play.
And Martin Leonard, only a 5'9", 165-pound linebacker, but he sure packs a punch. He's a little spark plug out there for the Knights. So Justin Habel will be back to punt. 4th and 9 on CB East 33-yard line. And like you said, Joe, got to watch out for a fake with the quarterback at punt formation. But he will punt this one. And back to receive it on this high wobbler is Heike Johnson at his 30. He drops the football, picks it up, and recovers. And stuffed at the 33-yard line on forward progress. They'll give him possession at the 33-yard line where the Knights will take over on offense. So good job of the Knights on defense on that series, which spanned 2 quarters, to get a 3-and-out from CB East. And coming up with a lot of time on this clock, 10:25 to go in this first half.
You're right, and we really saw the containment on that last defensive series from North Penn. And that's what they got to keep up the whole game to be successful against CB East.
Knights will go with a power I formation. Mims and Vielhauer up, and Heike Johnson about 5 yards back. Now it's Mims in motion to the right side. Quick give inside to Vielhauer, and he'll bust it out, picking up about 6 or 7 yards on that play. So Vielhauer with the quick trap inside picks up 7 yards for the Knights. 2nd and 3 on the 46-yard line.
That really is what Vielhauer does best. Just a short little trap lays right up the middle, a little scheme by the offensive line to get him a little bit of a hole, and he's got great leg movement to get through and break a lot of tackles.
Knights showing that power I formation again. Fitzpatrick and Smith, the wide receivers. Now it's Vielhauer in motion toward the near side. Parentozzi running the option with Johnson, cuts it across the 40, 45, picks up a Knights first down as he comes toward the near sideline. And the Knights will have a first down on the 46-yard line with the clock stopped, 9:40 to go in this first half.
That play could have been a lot bigger if Hakeem Johnson would have cut upfield at a little bit earlier than when he tried to break for the outside, because Vielhauer did a great job of sealing off his man to the outside, and he kind of blocked him right into Hakeem Johnson.
So North Penn running that option quite effectively so far, and they scored a touchdown on that, as we saw in the highlight package at the beginning of the show. Hakeem Johnson getting the option and had a 7-yard touchdown on that play last week against Pennsbury. 1st and 10 Knights. Handoff is to Johnson off the left side. And a good job of breaking down and tackling on that play by number 38, R.J. White of CB East.
Nobody even blocked White on that play. He was just standing there waiting for Johnson to come to him. And like you said, he got low and just did a good job of textbook blocking, tackling on that play, excuse me.
Seems like Hakeem Johnson really has a big game when he's going against a marquee back on the other team. His biggest game this year came against Ben Salem and the stud Keith Davis when he had 187 yards on 23 carries. So Hakeem Johnson continuing to step it up against the big-name running backs in Suburban 1 football. Parentozzi now will give the inside reverse to Martin Leonard. And that's not going to be like the Aaron Thomas reverse that we saw for 70 yards on that highlight package. CB East did not bite on that one, and Martin Leonard loses about 1 or 2 yards on that play, setting up 3rd and 7 for the North Penn Knights.
Once again, CB East continues to do a great job on the defensive line on the inside. It's only when they break outside that they lose a lot of yardage.
Yeah, right there we saw Martin Leonard coming off the field talking to coaches Beck and Pettin. It looks like Martin Leonard is filling in for Jason Payne's role as the wingback in the Knights offense. Vielhauer in motion. Give up the middle to Mims, and he has the Knights first down. A good run by Lou Mims. As we hear some chants of Lou in the crowd. Pickup of about 10 on that play. 1st and 10 Knights inside the CB West 39-yard line.
Excuse me. Misdirection is really what Coach Pettin preaches on offense. He likes to stun the linebackers for like a minute, like a second or two, so they really can't read the ball. And on that play, we saw Lou Mims just go right up the middle, and the linebackers weren't paying attention to him.
Really good job by Hakeem Johnson and Tom Parentozzi to sell that play and run out that option. So we'll see what North Penn does on 1st and 10. They'll give it to Hakeem Johnson. Not much doing on that left side, but he does manage to slash inside the 36-yard line for a pickup of 2 yards. 2nd and 8 North Penn. With 7:10 to go in this second quarter, the score is tied at 7.
North Penn once again taking a lot of time off the clock, keeping the ball for themselves, not letting CVEs get back into the scoring momentum.
Yeah, they're really taking advantage of the 25-second play clock and using a good chunk of that while they're managing to chalk up some real estate on the scoreboard. North Penn is easily outgaining CB East in yardage right now. Double tight end formation, Johnson to the left. And it's a keeper by Parentozzi. And he'll pick up about 4 yards. And Joe, one thing I noticed on that play, Hakeem Johnson really kind of looked like he was going to block his man downfield and just sort of let up on him. And that kind of cost Tom Parentozzi a couple yards as he had to cut outside. So Johnson not doing the best that he could on blocking downfield there. 3rd and 5 for the Knights on the 34-yard line of CB East.
A little bit of exhaustion might be coming into play for Hakeem Johnson, who has been playing both ways for North Penn tonight.
3rd and 4 make it, as it's a power I formation. Parentozzi will take the snap. As there's motion, misdirection, Flags are all over the place. North Penn just did not know what to do on that play as Mims and Vielhauer both went into motion at the same time and clunked heads in the backfield. And then Evan Fitzpatrick was trying to call timeout on the near side. Just a lot of confusion on that play. We'll see if we can pick up this call. The officials having a conference right now. Clock is stopped with 6:39 to go in the second quarter. It will probably be a procedure penalty. No flag on the play, as North Penn had called timeout, I believe.
I think that might be a delay of game.
You're right, Joe. You're right. Yeah, the official waved off the flag as a procedure penalty and is now calling it a delay of game. So it should be 5 yards, and it would be 3rd and 9 for North Penn. Now they're going to have a conference on the far side of the field with the officials. Just confusion down on the field right now, as there's now been a timeout called by North Penn. So North Penn has no timeouts left. Used all 3 of their timeouts, and there's still a good chunk of time to go in this first half with a tie game. So Coach Pettin out there talking to his offensive group. This timeout is about to end as North Penn will take over once again on the 33-yard line, where it will be 3rd and 4.
Timeouts usually come into play, but if you're controlling the ball as well as North Penn has been for this first half, you really don't need your timeouts as much as if you were struggling on offense and a lot more miscommunication in your backfield.
And with just under 6:40 to go in this first half, CB East will most likely see another possession, and they'll have all 3 of their timeouts to manage the clock. So North Penn will have 3rd and 4 right now, waiting for the ball to be put in play, and it is. Jeff Bloom, the center, takes the ball. He'll be snapping to Tom Parentozzi. Passing formation for the Knights. Parentozzi will drop back into the shotgun. Mays in the near slot. Fitzpatrick wide to the far side. Handoff on the draws to Heike Johnson. He breaks loose, but is just tripped up. Great tackle on that play by Troy Lavinia for CB East. 4th down for the Knights. We'll see if they go for it now.
It's a really nice call by Coach Patton on that play. When you're going into a shotgun formation, you usually think pass, and then a nice little draw out to the outside by Hakeem Johnson. Got a couple yards and close to a first down, and we'll just have to see if they go for it.
So 4th and about a yard. Ball right on the 30-yard line, and although Heike Johnson did not pick up the first down, he's over the 100-yard mark halfway through this second quarter. So Knights will come into this 4th and short situation, tight formation. Might see a QB sneak by Tom Parentozzi. It's a handoff to Vielhauer, and he has the North Penn first down. So a good call by Pettin, and that's what we've been seeing all year. Vielhauer in the short yardage, just coming up the middle and knocking people over as the battering ram.
Good push by the offensive line on that play, just to get into the legs of the defensive line and sending them back a yard or two.
So 1st and 10 on the CB East 28-yard line. Are they going to measure this? Yes, they are. Officials have stopped the clock. They're going to bring out a measurement. I'm pretty sure he has this, Joe. CB East might have just asked for a measurement.
The far yardstick appears to have the first down. I'm not sure.
And North Penn does have that first down. Never a doubt in my mind about that one, Joe.
Good call, Kyle.
1st and 10, North Penn, 5:46 to go. The clock will stop as they get these first down markers set up, and they do. Clock running now. Matt Hertz comes into the game for Kenrick Smith. Knights have to be wary of the wrong personnel. They don't have any timeouts left. So it will be the open formation, Vielhauer and Johnson in the backfield. Parentozzi. The quick give is to Vielhauer. He's inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. Pickup of 13 on that play. Big run by Nate Vielhauer, the fullback.
Nate Vielhauer, we usually see him as the inside backer, but when he gets into the open field, he's just as quick as Hakeem Johnson is. As you could see, he almost broke that play, but Brian Scott made a nice play coming up just to get an open field tackle on him.
CB East is giving up 177. Check that, 158.9 yards a game on the ground. So North Penn is just about at that mark, and we're 5 minutes to go in the first half. Tom Parentozzi, the handoff to Heike Johnson around the 15-yard line, and face mask flag on that play. That was pretty blatant right there. That'll be a half the distance penalty and another North Penn first down. An injured player now for CB East, as the face mask is the call. I think Brian Scott's going to get rung up for that one, as Heike Johnson got tossed out of bounds by his face mask, and that's obviously illegal. So CB East is attending to their injured player. I can't pick up the number on that right now. Clock stopped with 4:49 to go in the second quarter. North Penn has 7 points, as does the CB East Patriots. And walking off the field on his own power is number 38, R.J. White. He appears to be all right, so he should be able to come back into the game later. He does have to go off for a play, however.
North Penn right now saying to CB East in so many words that we can just drive on you at any time we want. They've put together 2 nice long possession drives right now, and you hate to call a touchdown, but they're pretty close to scoring another one, Kyle.
Yeah, you can feel it. There's a certain air to the atmosphere right now that North Penn is about to score. And they're going to bring in a measurement here on the penalty. They're not sure if that penalty yardage, which was half the distance, will give North Penn a first down, so we'll see what happens on this measurement. They'll stretch the sticks, and North Penn does have a first down. First and goal on the 5-yard line. So North Penn, as you said, Joe, really about ready to strike, and you can sense it.
Especially if they keep running those off-tackle plays with Heike Johnson, or the misdirections inside by Vielhauer really have been the only running plays we've seen, except for a couple keepers by Parentozzi. But the big plays have come off of those two.
And North Penn has not passed the ball yet, but nobody's complaining as they're moving the ball real well. Big formation in the backfield. Parentozzi under center will take this ball, and he'll keep it around the corner. Touchdown Knights! Tom Parentozzi on the keeper. Pick up a 5 yards on that play, and he's in for the North Penn touchdown.
That's one advantage of having a very quick quarterback, Kyle. He can break to the outside just as fast as Johnson can, and just as fast as Vielhauer and Mims, the other running backs. He's back there as a running back. That's why he's a quarterback, and just not because he throws the ball.
And of course, North Penn, as we said, did not throw the ball yet in this first half, and they only threw the ball 4 times against Pennsbury and just had 1 completion, and it was only for 3 yards. So North Penn just sticking with the ground game, and like I said before, nobody's complaining. The ball is spotted for the extra point. The kick is up, and it is good. 14-7, North Penn has the lead. 4:44 to go in this first half. There's a look at that keeper by Tom Parentozzi, and really set up nicely. Fakes the give to Vielhauer, and he was into the end zone, just beating Brian Scott to that corner, and Joe showing real good speed on that play.
Right, like I mentioned, Tom Parentozzi is very quick. He can throw the ball also, so he's a double asset back there in the backfield for North Penn.
And that's Tom Parentozzi's 3rd touchdown of the year. He picked up 1, as we saw in the highlight tape from Pennsbury last week, that 12-yard keeper. And that was sort of the same play right there. It was just to the opposite side of the field. It was run to the right side of the line against Pennsbury, and the same exact play coming toward the near sideline, and Parentozzi goes untouched basically into that end zone.
Not to be forgotten, though, CB East does have all their timeouts left, and there's still about 5 minutes left on the clock, and that's plenty of time to get down the field and score again, which CB East needs to do here.
Tom Parentozzi will kick this one off for the Knights, and Brian Scott and Manny Stupakis back to receive for the Patriots. The kick is away. It's a low-line drive taken on one hop on his knee. And a good call by the official right on top of that. Not a very smart play by Manny Stupakis as he took that one on his knee. And he'll be docked for the bad play right there. And it will be taken at the 15-yard line by CB East.
Stupakis maybe thinking he was in the NFL there for a second, Kyle. You can't do that in high school or college football, put a knee down. You're considered down. He was just trying to block the ball, which is a good thing on a punt return, but not on a kickoff return.
1st and 10 on CB East. 10-yard line, not the 15-yard line, as I had said before. Split to the near side for the Patriots is Rob Linders. Parentozzi will be covering him, giving him a good 10-yard cushion, almost a prevent defense for the Knights. Doesn't matter, however, as the give is into the middle. Brian Scott picks up about 2 or 3 yards for the Patriots, setting up 2nd and 7.
We might see the Patriots go to the air a little more on this drive because an incomplete pass does stop the clock. And they did very well on their only pass so far tonight to Brian Scott for the touchdown. And you really just need to loft it up to Scott since he's so tall and he has that jumping ability.
And breakaway speed, too, with that 4.5 40-yard dash speed. And that's NFL caliber speed right there. And definitely NCAA Division I. Hable on the misdirection to Brian Scott. He'll go up the middle, picks up about 3 yards. And it will be 3rd and 3 for CB East on their own 17 or 18-yard line.
It's a very big play here for CB East. They really need to get this first down, sustain a nice drive, like I said earlier. And this is where it all comes down to, this play, third and about 1 now. So they'll probably go for it on 4th, too.
Justin Hable under center. Backs are Stupakis and Scott, and it goes to Scott, and he's close to a first down. I'm not sure if he got it. And he does have it. No need for a measurement on that. Ball is now at the 20-yard line. Clock is now running. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. 14-7. North Penn has the lead. Might try to air it out here, you would think, Joe.
You would think they would try for one air out pass by Hable, because he really does have a pretty good arm, as we saw earlier, lofting the ball up about 20 yards to Scott. But it looks like they're going to run on this play.
Hable will give it to Scott, and he's met about 2 yards into the Knights' defense by Nate Vielhauer and Martin Leonard, along with Mike Kapusta, who is really, as we said before, become a main factor in the Knights' defense, picking up a huge game against Pennsbury last week and making a good tackle on that play, along with 3 of his teammates.
And that's also good news for North Penn's future, seeing how he's only a sophomore, along with Hakeem Johnson. They've got a good core of sophomores on this varsity team this year.
And let's not forget Chris McKelvey on the offensive line as well, one of the biggest players on the Knights roster. Stupakis is split to the near side in the wide receiver position. It's going to be a reverse to Stupakis. Hable looking to block. Stupakis calling for a block. He cuts it upfield. He has room. Another cut. He's still on his feet. 35, 40, 45. Kendrick Smith trying to cut off the angle, and Stupakis with the juke past him. Ball is loose, but it is called out of bounds. A very interesting play right there. Stupakis ran about 100 yards on that play and gained about 30.
Right, he's just going back and forth up and down the field, Kyle. And the thing on that play that really killed North Penn were arm tackles. Nobody broke down and tried to get to the center of his body. They were just trying to throw him down on the ground. And Stupakis is only 5'9", and that might be a little bit of an advantage to what they were trying to do, but it was a nice play by Stupakis.
The next chance we get, we'll take a look at that crazy play. We'll pick up action here as it's 1st and 10 on the North Penn 37-yard line. CB East calls timeout, so we'll take a look at this Stupakis reverse. And this was pretty obvious from the beginning of the play, but Stupakis just cutting around right there. Mike Mays with an arm tackle, another one by Lou Mims. As he's running at midfield, jukes Kendrick Smith. Lou Mims comes back, pops the ball out, but I don't know why they called that one out of bounds, Joe. It looked like North Penn was able to strip the ball, namely Lou Mims, and Jeff Bloom fell on it, but the official on the near side, who obviously has a better angle than us, called that one out of bounds. So the Patriots dodge a bullet right there.
Lou Mims did a great job of hustling back. Even though he missed the initial tackle, he did a good job of coming back, trying to hit the ball and make a play for North Penn.
So a minute 57 is where the clock is stopped. In the second quarter, 14-7, North Penn with the lead. CB East will take over after this timeout. 1st and 10 on North Penn's 37-yard line. Now they'll send Stupakis and Scott to the far sideline, Twins left, showing pass. But it's a draw up the middle to Mark Notwick. Nothing doing on that play. Maybe about a yard. 2nd and 9 now for CB East.
North Penn really didn't have their defensive set ready, and if Habel might have picked up on that, he might have called an audible. Nobody was out there covering Scott and Stupakis. There was only one D-back out there. Coaches were yelling at him, but they still didn't pick up on it.
They'll run the same formation now. Stupakis and Scott split left. Split to the near side is Rob Linders, single setback, Tony Bevavino. Habel is back to pass, 3-step drop. Ball popped in the air, but unable to get it was Heike Johnson looking for Rob Linders right there. Just couldn't get his hands on that as it doinked off his chest and shoulder pads straight up into the air, and Tom Parentozzi with good pressure on the coverage.
As a receiver, you never want the ball to come and hit you in the chest protector because it's hard plastic and it'll make it bounce up in the air like we just saw. You want to get your hands on it and catch it down in front of you.
So Justin Habel is now 1 for 2 through the air. Of course, 1 touchdown, that 33-yard strike to Brian Scott. He's sticking with the same formation. As Habel takes the snap, he's going on the crossing route and drilled after he catches the ball. Is Brian Scott, but it is a first down. Big hit by Kenrick Smith, but could not knock the ball loose. First down, CB East on the North Penn 25-yard line.
You're right, Scott. You're sure. Excuse me. You're certain that Scott heard the footsteps on that play, but it really didn't affect him. Great concentration on his part. We've seen 2 nice catches of great concentration by Scott tonight.
4 receivers for CB East. The lone setback, Mark Notwick, and he'll take the fake, and it's the quarterback keeping it, Justin Habel. Good job containing once again by North Penn. Heike Johnson and Mike Mays coming over to knock him out of bounds. And CB East takes their second timeout, stopping the clock with 42 seconds left. They only picked up about 1.5 yards on that play, 2nd and 8 after the timeout for CB West.
On that last play, you could see Johnson and Mays, instead of running after him, they were shifting their legs and moving laterally with them, which is not to not let Habel get around them. And North Penn really has done a good job of that tonight. You could see that they worked on it in practice of containment, and they've done a good job of it all year. On all the games we've seen, nobody's really broke outside on North Penn's defense.
Justin Habel has thrown the ball 100 times this year through 7 games. That's an average of about 13 per game, and he's only thrown 2 passes so far tonight. Make that 3 passes as he's completed 2 to Brian Scott for a total of about 45 yards. So 2nd and 8 for CB West, 42 seconds to go in the second quarter. 14-7, North Penn has the lead late in this first half. Ball on the North Penn 23-yard line. Justin Habel calling the play to his huddle. They'll stick with their usual 4 wide receiver formation. Scott and Stupakis to the left, and Bevavino along with Linders on the right. 3-step drop, going on the fade pattern to Scott. That's the touchdown play, and they have another one. Same play as the first touchdown. Brian Scott finds pay dirt off of the Justin Habel pass, and just a good play by CB East. Not much North Penn could do on that one.
On that play, it's just a matter of trust between Habel and Scott. Habel's just lofting the ball up there, up for grabs, and Scott does a great job of coming down with it on that play and then eventually finding the end zone.
Habel will spot this extra point attempt by Tim Becker, trying to tie up the score at 14-all. Ball is spotted. It's a low snap. It's up, and it is good just inside that left post. Tie ball game, 14-14. Here's a look at that great fade pattern by Brian Scott. Just a great ball right there by Justin Habel, and North Penn Knights defense ran into each other, and Brian Scott picks up his second receiving touchdown of the game. So he's burnt North Penn more through the air than he has on the ground. So the Knights might have to adjust at halftime. As I talked to Coach Pettin earlier this week, he was saying they're going to key on Scott on the ground for the most part. But really, he's surprised them through the air, picking up 2 touchdown receptions.
That's the advantage of being a superb athlete. You can be moved around to where you're going to be best suited for each game. In this game, he's best suited as a wide receiver, even though he has done a good job running the ball, too.
So 36 seconds left in the first half. North Penn with no timeouts. We'll see what they do. CB East has one timeout remaining if they need to stop the clock for any reason. Quarterback and kicker Justin Habel will put this one into play. Back to receive, Aaron Thomas, the sophomore, and his sophomore teammate, Heike Johnson. Habel will approach the ball. The kick is away. It's a squib kick. High hop taken by Kenrick Smith. Looking to cut it outside, and he does. He has room out to the 35, 40, and knocked out of bounds at the 43, 44-yard line. So good field position for the Knights, but really they only have time for about 4 plays without a timeout.
And with only 4 plays left, you can expect for them to go to the air. .28 seconds left, second quarter, tie score, 14-14. It would really be great for the North Penn Knights to get a touchdown or a field goal here, but field goal is kind of out of the question because they won't be able to stop the clock with no timeouts left. They might have to get down the field quickly and spike the ball. They'll go trips left. Fitzpatrick, Leonard, and Johnson. And on the far side is Kenrick Smith. And the shotgun, Parentozzi rolling on the waggle play to the left side on the quick out to Leonard. And he does get out of bounds. A very smart play by the junior, Martin Leonard, on the 12-yard out pattern, and a good ball by Parentozzi. His first pass of the game completes it right into the hands of Martin Leonard and out of bounds at the CB East 44-yard line, only using up 5 seconds of time on the clock. Like you said, you just want to get out of bounds on that play. It was a nice completion, good rollout pass by Parentozzi. And Martin Leonard did a great job of feeling the terrain of the field, which does slope down the end lines, as we talked about at soccer games. It's just a good play all around by North Penn.
Parentozzi remains in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for North Penn. Vielhauer the single setback. Parentozzi rolling right now. Look out on the blitz. Gets the ball away. Tipped in midair. And really good pressure on that play by Nick Norvillis on the blitz. Parentozzi took a whack on that play and almost has it picked off by Mark Notwick, who tipped it high into the air, but CB East could not find the ball in midair.
Norvillis wasn't touched going through there. And Parentozzi, not the biggest of guys, probably couldn't see over him eventually when he got within 5 yards of him.
And what happened on that play was Nate Vielhauer, the single setback, went out on a flare route instead of staying back to block, but that's part of the play, so you just have to take the blitz on that play. He'll be in the backfield again with Parentozzi, who's in the shotgun. Vielhauer will stay back to block this time. Parentozzi over the middle! Almost caught by Martin Leonard. That would have been a play of about 20 yards, and that would have gotten the Knights into field goal range. But just out of the reach of Martin Leonard. Not a bad ball by Parentozzi, throwing it only where Martin Leonard can catch that, but Martin Leonard filling in for Jason Payne, doing an adequate job so far, but just it seemed like Payne might have caught that one. You never know, though, Joe. We're not out there. It's Martin Leonard.
It's a really nice pass by Parentozzi. It's the first one we've seen with real zip on it.
Parentozzi will remain in the shotgun. Plenty of time. Throwing over the middle. Heike Johnson has it thrown behind him, almost picked off on that play by Steve Kreider. 8 seconds left. This might be the last play from scrimmage. North Penn will have a 4th and 10 on the CB East 44-yard line. We'll see what they do here, Joe.
You'd have to expect either a long bomb or just to run out the clock, but it doesn't look like they're running out the clock, so if they got trips right. Probably look for the Hail Mary here.
Fitzpatrick on the right side. Parentozzi throws. He has Fitzpatrick. He catches it inside that 11-yard line, but clock runs out in this first half. 14-14 is the score. North Penn tied with CB East in a battle in suburban one-league football. North Penn, as we said at the top of the show, needs this win. If they want to get to the district playoffs, automatically they have to win the remainder of these 3 games. Tonight against CB East, next week against Neshaminy at home, and on Halloween night in Norristown. So North Penn will talk things over at halftime, looking to get things going again. They will receive the ball to start the second half, and Heike Johnson with a huge half for North Penn, Joe.
You're right. He's been breaking tackles, getting to the outside where he's most effective, and he's very quick. He's really showed up. You don't like to say showed up, but it's the only word I could think of right now. Brian Scott so far tonight, who's been mainly out there as a receiver. North Penn and East have both played a very good game. It's 14-14 as the scoreboard suggests. It's just been a hard-fought battle by both teams so far, Kyle.
Well, the Marching Knights are taking the field, and in a few minutes, the 1997 homecoming court will be taking the field as well. We'll be back with the festivities in homecoming 1997 at North Penn High School. Stay with us. We'll be back on Channel 16.
You are 100% unadulterated energy. You have no choice but movement. You aren't acted on. You are action. You have the power to make the world a better place. You already know how to do it. Volunteer now for the American Red Cross. Call your local chapter for details.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. It's homecoming night, obviously, at North Penn High School. The Marching Knights are on the field serenading the homecoming court, and we'll listen in on the festivities. Stay with us.
5 females were then placed on a ballot for the junior and senior classes to vote on. The field was narrowed down to the 14 finalists, which will be showcased tonight. In homeroom on Friday, all the members of the student body cast his or her vote on the 1997 homecoming king and queen. We are now honored to introduce to you the 1997 homecoming court composed of 14 finalists. Within the next few minutes, we will crown the 1997-1998 homecoming king and queen of North Penn High School.
The first female member of the court is Lauren Allen. Lauren is being escorted by Andrew McCarthy. Lauren participates on the winter track and lacrosse team. She is also a part of the student government and Students Against Driving Drunk. Lauren earns money by working at Gennardi's. Her future plans are to attend a college close to home so that her mom can do her laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Miss Lauren Allen.
The first male member of the court is Sam McCowie. Sam is being escorted by Christy Jones. Sam is on the wrestling team and is a convoy at Super G. And during his free time, he likes to hang out with his friends. His future plans are to attend a 4-year college majoring engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Sam McCowie.
The second member of the female court is Michelle Batliner. Michelle is being escorted by Jamie Friley. Michelle is in the work-study program at North Penn and has been working as a dietary aide at the Brittany Point Estate. Michelle is active in ski club and was involved with Special Olympics. Michelle is also on the basketball team, the tennis team, and the soccer team. After graduation, Michelle plans to attend college and study art therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Michelle Batliner.
The next member of the male court is Christopher Beals. Chris is being escorted by Jamie Petro. Chris is involved in the Thespian, National Honor Society, and the Green Room. He is the vice president of the class of 1998, as well as a member of the Key Club, Ski Club, and Winter Track. After high school, Chris plans on going to college, getting a good job, earning lots of money, and retiring early. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Mr. Christopher Beals.
Our third female court member is Monica Joy. Monica is being escorted by Bill Baldwin. Monica is the president of the class of 1998. She is in the Key Club and serves as the lieutenant governor of the state board and has a part-time job. Her plans after high school are to attend a 4-year college and major in international relations. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Monica Joy.
Our third male member of the court is Ron Calarco. Ron is being escorted by Allison Keller. Ron participates on the winter and spring track team. He is also a student government and homeroom representative. Ron is active in chorus because he loves loves to sing. His plans for the future include going to college and majoring in physical education. He hopes to get a scholarship for pole vaulting and track. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronald Calarco.
Our next female member of the court is Katrina Joseph. Katrina is being escorted by Jovi Mills. Katrina ran cross country in 10th and 11th grade. She has participated on the track and basketball teams since 9th grade. Currently, Katrina is involved in the African Awareness Club and also holds the position of Roma representative. Katrina plans to attend college and major in occupational therapy. Then, Katrina hopes to marry and live a happy life. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katrina Joseph.
Our next member of the male court is Tony DiDomizio. Tony is being escorted by Suzanne Horst. Tony serves as the news anchor for North Penn TV and is also involved with the Night Crier. Tony enjoys writing poetry and songs. He can be found working at Tenardi's. Tony hopes to attend Kutztown University and at Kutztown hopes to major in TV or video broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony DiDomizio.
The fifth member of the court is Katie Love. Katie is being escorted by Dave Pittman. Katie is one of the drum majors of the Marching Knights. Katie also participates in the orchestra and wind ensemble. Katie is involved on the class of 1998 cabinet at the National Honor Society. She was formerly a varsity field hockey and lacrosse player. After high school, Katie plans to attend a four-year college to major in pre-medical studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Katie Love.
The fifth member of the court is Greg Fox. Greg is being escorted by Becky Mayer. Greg is the drum major of the Marching Knights. Greg is also the president of National Honor Society and the co-chair for the Special Olympics. After high school, Greg plans to attend a four-year university majoring in computer or electric engineering. Greg would like to get a job in the computer field, marry, and live a happy life. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gregory Fox.
The sixth female candidate is Melissa Maylock. Melissa is being escorted by Ryan Gordon. Melissa is a cheerleader and a chamber singer. She is also in concert choir. Melissa plans to attend either Ohio State University or Florida State. She wants to cheer in college and major in either dance, voice, or psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss Melissa Maylott.
Our next male member of the court is Josh Huebner. Josh is being escorted by Megan Hopper. He is active in spring track, cross country, winter track, and young life. Josh is also on the boys varsity basketball team. His future plans are to go to a four-year university and earn a degree in education. Josh plans to be a professor, have a large family, and live on a farm in either Montana or Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joshua Huebner.
Our final female candidate is Monica White. Monica is being escorted by Artie Peterson. As a student government vice president, Monica is involved in many activities. She was activities coordinator her junior year and a senator in her sophomore year. Currently, Monica is involved in the African Awareness Club, the theater, and she was a member of the Northland Strategic Planning Committee. Monica plans to attend college and major in plea law. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Miss Monica White.
a member of the Simulation Gaming Society and the stage crew for North Bend High School Theater. John plays bass, keyboards, and does programming for his band, 2 Miles High. John wants to be successful with his band, own and operate his own nightclub and radio station. John wants everyone to be able to listen to decent music on their way to school. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Mr. John Wolf.
During the homecoming assembly on Wednesday, the homecoming court had their chance to state several issues that this year's talking about. This year's homecoming court is concerned with several issues including racism in our society, ending drinking and driving, community service, apathy, educating our youth, and animal research. We would like to congratulate the members of the court and wish each one luck. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the 1997-1998 homecoming court.
At this time, please welcome back to North Bend High School our 1996 homecoming king and queen, Mr. David DiFrancesco and Miss Catherine Catara. David is now attending college at St. Joseph, where he is majoring in psychology. Katie is attending West Virginia University, and she is majoring in elementary education. Let us give them a big welcome home. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our second runner-up for homecoming king is Mr. Gregory Fox.
Our second runner-up for homecoming queen is Miss Katrina Joseph.
Our first runner-up for homecoming king is Mr. Sam McCowie.
Our first runner-up for homecoming queen is Miss Lauren Allen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our 1997-1998 North Penn homecoming king is Mr. Ron Calarco.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our 1997-1998 North Bend High School's homecoming queen is Miss Melissa Miller.
members that helped make this night possible. Small Tuxedo Rental in Montgomery Mall for donating the tuxedos to the 7 members of the King's Cart. Also to Silk and Fresh Sports, located on Valley Sports Road in Lansdale, for supplying the beautiful flowers and boutonnieres to all the members of the court, which were presented by Mr. Lemon, the class of '98 advisor, earlier this evening. Thanks to Bergie's Jeep Eagle Dealer in Lansdale for donating the Hunter Green Jeep Wrangler, which you saw this evening. Thank you to all the families and students who contributed to the convertibles that brought in the members of this year's court.
Following tonight's game, all North Penn High School faculty, alumni, and fans are invited to remain in the stands to hear a full performance by award-winning marching knights. This evening, the senior class will be sponsoring a dance in the cafeteria, at which time we will honor the homecoming king and queen. Music will be provided by Swan Sound DJs. We would like to congratulate Miss Melissa Maylott and Ron Clarko and all the members of the homecoming chorus. Thank you to all, and good luck North Penn Knights in the second half.
So once again, congratulations to Melissa Maylott and Ron Clarko on being awarded Homecoming Queen and Homecoming King for the 1997-1998 school year. Congratulations to both of those students. We'll be back after this with One-on-One. I had a chance to talk with Evan Fitzpatrick. We'll hear from him in the third quarter after this on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
Your parents are always bugging you to get out and exercise. But the last people you want to be like are your parents.
Hello and welcome to One-on-One. Joining me today is Evan Fitzpatrick. We hope you enjoyed the first half of football action on North Penn Television. And Evan, last year, CB East defeated you guys by a score of, I believe, 43-17, and you guys are looking to exact your revenge tonight against the Patriots. What have you been looking forward to in the week's worth of preparation against the Patriots?
Well, basically, we're just looking for another win because that's what we've been looking for all season. We stand 5-1, and we're second in the league, and we just want to beat another good team and take home the W.
Now, against Brian Scott, obviously, is the center point of CB East offense. What did you guys work on this week defensively to prepare for a running back with the caliber of Brian Scott?
Well, defensively, we put in a couple of new things, a couple of things to cover him when he goes up for a pass. We have a kind of a double coverage setup for him, and we put in a couple new things with the linebackers to set up for his running attack because he's a great runner. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's a very talented runner, very agile and very strong, big guy.
Now, for you personally on offense, you being the wide receiver for the Knights, do you feel that you have to step it up this week to fill in for Jason Payne, even though we'll probably see some limited action tonight? Do you feel that personally you have to step up your game a little more to make the offense more potent without Payne in the lineup?
Well, personally, yeah, I do feel I have to step it up a little bit because Jason was a big part of our offense. And also, the rest of the offense is going to have to step up because we kind of had to move a couple of people around to compensate for the absence of Payne. So, yeah, we're going to have to step it up a little.
Now, on the offensive line, they obviously had a great second half. And in fact, the whole game against Pennsbury last week, you guys managed to crank out a ton of rushing yardage thanks to your offensive line, which is one of the bigger offensive lines in the league. And against CB East, they're not a small team. Do you think the offensive line will have a tougher game against East than it did against Pennsbury last week?
Well, they may have a tougher game because they do have a couple of big defensive linemen. But the way our offensive line has been able to not only overpower teams by size, but with skill, because we have a lot of very complicated blocking schemes which confuse defenses and enable us to open up the holes for our tailbacks like Heike and Lou. So I think that we might struggle a little bit in the beginning, but I think we'll still grind it out on the ground.
Now, as far as the playoff picture goes for you guys, On Coach's Corner earlier this week, Coach Pettin pointed it out that you guys control your own destiny, meaning if you win all your games, you're basically a lock for the District 1 playoffs. So obviously you guys this week have been getting pumped up for the CB East game, and then of course you have Neshaminy next week at home, and then you play Norristown. So what are you guys going through as a team right now, trying to prepare for the remainder of the season, knowing that you have to win all your games?
Well, we have come to the realization that we have to win all our games, like you said, and we're just taking it week by week, game by game. After losing the West, it kind of dimmed our hopes a little bit because we knew we had to win the rest of our games. And last week we really showed up against Pennsbury and we were able to defeat them. So this week we're just going to do the same with East, take care of business, and then next week against Neshaminy, and then the following week with Norristown.
Okay, Evan, thanks for being on the show, and that's all the time we have for one-on-one. Second half action continues with CB East after this on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
Over 2 million acres of our wildlands burn each year, and hundreds of homes are lost as a result.
At least 50 homes were burned to the ground. Dozens more were damaged as fires raced through dense brush and steep canyons.
Flames don't know the difference between forest, rangelands, and homes. Learn how you can fireproof your home. For more information, contact your local fire protection agency, State Forestry Office, or the USDA Forest Service.
What are you going to take?
Algebra.
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 Algebra! If no one's explained how algebra, geometry, and calculus can improve your future, call NACME. We'll tell you.
Out! Out! There's no ways out! It's impossible!
Actually, Coach, it's not. See, Jimmy had to travel a distance of 90 feet. He reached an average speed of 15 miles per hour. The ball left 2 seconds later than Jimmy and had to go 1.5 times the distance.
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league
Thus
parent.
enabling it to reach the destination at a much quicker rate.
Did you factor in the wind speed?
Hi, I'm Cynthia Wood. Join us this week for Meals You Can Make. We're going to have 2 different pizza recipes if you'd like to join us. The ingredients that you'll need are green peppers, tomatoes, pepperoni, and cheese for the first pizza. The second pizza you'll need some already cooked chicken, mushrooms, onion, fresh basil, garlic, and some mozzarella cheese, and 1 package with 2 pizza crusts in it. We hope you'll join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at 5:30 here on North Penn Television. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. We're about set to get started with the second half of Suburban 1 football action. I'd like to thank Evan Fitzpatrick once again for doing that interview with me at halftime, one-on-one. Score is tied 14-14, North Penn and CB East going at it at Crawford Stadium. Some stats from the first half of action. Heike Johnson leading all rushers with 102 yards on 12 carries. And as you said, Joe, you really don't have a better word to say other than he's showing up, Brian Scott, right now. Nate Vielhauer has 24 yards on 7 carries. Tom Parentozzi has 42 yards passing on 2 of 5 throwing. Brian Scott has 52 yards on the ground and 50 receiving yards, including 2 touchdowns. Brian Scott needs 34 yards in this second half to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark, which is an astonishing feat as a junior. Manny Stupakis has that 1 run, that reverse for 40 yards, darting through the North Penn defense. And Tony Bevavino, the fullback, has 1 carry for 6 yards. Justin Habel is 2 for 2 on passing for 2 touchdowns. Make that 2 for 3. He had 1 incompletion, 53 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. North Penn has 191 yards of total offense, 149 on the ground and 42 through the air, mostly in the latter part of the second quarter. CB East has 151 total yards of offense, 98 through the rushing game, namely Brian Scott, and 53 yards passing. So CB East is basically on track as far as their offense goes, averaging 252.9 per game, as we said earlier. And they're at 151 at the half. And North Penn averaging 281.7 yards of total offense is at 191 at the half. So Both teams playing as we expected, Joe. Some good drives in that first half for both teams, especially in the first quarter.
You're right. We don't have a time of possession stat, but both teams did have a good possession. They ate up a lot of clock, and they scored on each of their drives, too. And that's an important key. Defense really has to step up. The team's defense who steps up in the second half is really going to win the game.
So as we're about ready to watch the kickoff in the second half, North Penn in their navy blue jerseys and gray pants will be going from right to left, and CB East in the white jerseys, red numbers, and silver pants will be going from left to right. North Penn will receive Justin Habel's kickoff. Aaron Thomas and Heike Johnson, both the sophomores, back at their 5-yard line to receive the kickoff, and North Penn has a good chance to get a lead in this second half as they have the first possession of the game, and CB East, of course, marched down the field on their first possession and picked up a score. So we'll see if North Penn can take advantage of receiving this opening kickoff. CB East sets up in their kickoff formation, and Justin Habel kicks a helicopter spinning ball, and a good play by Aaron Thomas to watch that ball go out of bounds. Illegal procedure on the kickoff against CB East, so North Penn will be given good field position out at their 35-yard line.
This is the best field position for North Penn so far tonight. On the first kickoff, there was that little trick play they tried, which got them back on their 5, and then the punt, which they received, put them about the 30. So they're about 5 yards ahead so far. So let's see if North Penn can do something out of this good field position.
Of course, last week, CB East lost 21-10 to Norristown, a really disheartening loss. They were up by a score of 10-0 in the first half, and then Norristown rolled off 2 touchdowns in the latter part of the second quarter and scored in the fourth quarter to ice the deal. So CB East is looking to get back on the winning track against North Penn, and North Penn, of course, has to win these 3 games left in the year if they want to get into the District 1 playoffs. And right off the bat in the second half, CB East defense stepping it up. Tony Lavinia drills Heike Johnson in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
Johnson stopped moving his legs on that play because he was worried about losing the ball. The ball was knocked loose, and he was just trying to recover it on that play.
So North Penn has 2nd and 12 on their own 33-yard line. We'll see what they do here. Evan Fitzpatrick will be the wide receiver to the far side of the field. Kendrick Smith lined up in the near slot. Vielhauer and Johnson in the open set in the backfield. And Parentozzi will run the option, gives it quickly to Johnson with speed up across that 40-yard line and about to the 42-yard line. That'll be 3rd and maybe 4, maybe 5 for the Knights.
North Penn really doing a great job on the outside runs. Like we've talked about all night, on the option on the off tackle with Heike Johnson. He had over 100 yards in the first half, which is a big deal for a sophomore running back. Another big game, he's stepping up. We've seen it a couple times this year, Kyle.
There is an injured CB East player. He appears to be rather seriously injured as the trainers are looking at him. Can't pick up a number on that player. Hopefully he'll be okay. They're stretching out his legs. It appears to be number 29. Make it 28. That's Mark Notwick, the D-back. 5'9", 195-pound junior. So while they're looking at him, we're going to take a break. And we'll be back after this with the rest of the third quarter. Stay with us on North Penn Television.
Now batting, Brett Butler.
Butler? He's a dinosaur. They should rename this place Jurassic Park in his honor.
Dinosaur, huh? Did you know that Shunosaurus and Ankylosaurus dinosaurs were capable of delivering crushing blows with their bony tail clubs?
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Even my 3rd grader knows that.
Smart kid.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. The injured player for CB East is Manny Stupakis, who of course had that big 40-yard reverse. It was not Mark Notwick that was injured. It was Manny Stupakis. We hope he's all right. He appeared to injure his knee. He was able to limp off the field. They did not need to cart him off the field, so we can only hope the best for Manny Stupakis, who has been a great mix-up for the CB East offense this year.
You're right. That's a big injury right there. It might actually generate some momentum for the CB East playing for Manny, who's really stepped up his game tonight.
So 3rd and 4 for North Penn on their own 41-yard line. Long count by Parentozzi. Fake reverse, and CB East does a good job of containing right there. Heike Johnson goes nowhere as he's taken out by Troy Lavinia, who's picked up 2 big tackles early on in this 3rd quarter.
That was the best job we've seen all night of CB East containing Heike Johnson on the outside pitch. It was just a pretty good defensive series by CB East there. And like I said, the team that really steps up defensively has the better shot of winning because they give the offense the ball.
So it's 4th down and 7 on North Penn's 38-yard line, and they'll be forced to punt. Tom Parentozzi back in punt formation. The punt is away. It's a wobbler off the side of Parentozzi's foot, and it will go out of bounds at the 37-yard line of CB East.
That really just looked like a bad drop on that play, on that punt. You could almost tell that the ball was going down, the point was face down, and that's never good as a punter.
And Parentozzi really had a lot of time to get rid of that ball off the punt. Wasn't a lot of rush coming from the CB East defense, but just goes off the side of his foot, and not Tom Parentozzi's best effort, but CB East will take over on their 37-yard line, 1st and 10 Patriots. They'll stick with Brian Scott in the backfield, and blocking for him is Tony Bevavino. Motion from the East offense. Quick pitch on the left side to Brian Scott, and he cuts it up close to a 1st down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Pickup of 9 or 10 on that play, very close to that 1st down. They'll call 2nd and 1, less than 1 yard.
Scott really needs a couple plays like that just to get him back into the running mode. He's been used mainly as a wide receiver more effectively tonight, but he really is a good running back, and he really needs to get back into this game. Hopefully the coach will see that and start giving him the ball a little bit more.
But with 2nd and a short yard here, Joe, you might try to see CB East aired out long down the field because they know that they can get that yard on 3rd and 1 if they need to. But it's given to Scott quickly up the middle, and he breaks free. Martin Leonard grabs him around the ankles. Good job by Leonard to stay with him throughout that whole play. And just shy of the North Penn 40-yard line is where CB East will have their 1st down.
Another nice run by Scott on that play. He keeps his legs moving real nice. And he's got those long legs, so every step takes about a yard. He really just needs to get back into this game.
Of course, without Manny Stupakis in the lineup, North Penn's defense can really key on Brian Scott, but he's had a couple decent runs so far in this 3rd quarter. So 1st and 10, CB East. Scott again gets by the North Penn defense. Vielhauer grabs him by the jersey and drags him down. With a little help from Jeff Michael, who's back in the lineup this week after sitting out last week's game with a pinched nerve in his neck that he sustained during the CB West game. So it's good to see him back in the lineup on that defensive line. Meanwhile, Brian Scott had picked up 6 yards, 2nd and 4 for the Patriots on the North Penn 34-yard line. So Hable gives the quick draw up the middle, and not picking up much on that play was Tony Bevavino, and Brian Scott now has 88 yards on the ground, so he is over that 1,000-yard barometer, which is used to judge a really good rushing season for running backs. So Brian Scott, the junior, who will be back next year, unfortunately for the rest of the league, but fortunately for the Patriots, picks up his 1,000-yard rushing season with 3 games left to play, counting this one. East has plenty of motion on this play. And Hable under center takes a snap, gives it up the middle to Scott. No surprise here. And he's driven back by the North Penn defense. Let's see where they mark it on forward progress. Should be close to the 1st down, but I believe he'll be shy. And you would imagine that CB East would go for it here if they need to, with 4th and about 1 foot. So North Penn will stack the line here, trying to stop CB East from getting this 1st down.
So far early here in the second half, we've seen CB East use a lot of formation changes and motions, which we didn't see in the first half, and that might be throwing off North Penn's defense a little bit.
Bevavino and Scott in the backfield. Hable gives it to Bevavino, and he does have that 1st down, picking up about 2.5, maybe 3 yards. across the North Penn 30-yard line down to the 28. First and 10, CB East with the clock stopped at 6:47. Tie score 14-14 in the third quarter.
That's really what you want a fullback to do. He's kind of your clutch player. When you need a yard, he gets you a yard. He does a great job blocking, just like Nate Vielhauer does for North Penn. It's basically the same role, and that's just pretty much the prototype for a fullback. Good blocker, good short yardage man.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe. Really, the fullback is usually an overlooked position by teams when they're scouting, and when you have a good fullback, as Justin Hable takes this keeper around close to another CB East first down, a good fullback is really a good catalyst for the offense. He's usually a guy that can bang out the yardage, as you said, and really get some big blocks in the game, and that's always a key, especially when you have a back, in North Penn's case, like Heike Johnson, or in CB East's case, like Brian Scott, and really Bevavino and Vielhauer both having excellent games so far for their respective teams. 2nd and 2 now, as Hable picked up 8 yards on that keeper. Ball is now on the North Penn 20-yard line. 6:18 on the clock in the third quarter. Hable with a give up the middle to Scott. He cuts close to another first down, and he might have it. Very close. And it is a first down.
This crowd has really fallen silent here so far in the second half. Because of CBE's nice drive they're putting on here, they've gotten about 4 first downs in a row here. And that's always enough to silence a crowd, take the momentum away from your team. Good job by CB East.
They're in the midst of about a 4.5-minute drive right now. 1st and 10 on North Penn 17. Hable up the middle to Scott. Not much doing on that play. Good stop on that play by Mike Kapusta, the sophomore linebacker, picking up another big tackle for North Penn on defense tonight.
If North Penn could get out of here with a field goal, or maybe even only a field goal attempt, that's still a win for North Penn defense, who's let CBE's drive down on them down to about the 10-yard line so far.
And their place kicker, Tim Becker, does have 2 field goals on the season. Not quite sure about his range, but this would appear to be field goal range for any high school kicker. It would be about a 34-yard field goal right now. Brian Scott off the left side. Good containment by the Knights defense, and Jeff Michael grabs him, collar ties him, and brings him down, setting up 3rd and long for CBE. So good job by the Knights defense. Like I said before, with Manny Stupakis out of the lineup, they're able to key on Brian Scott, and that appears to be what they're doing.
Right, East really isn't going to run too many misdirection plays with Stupakis coming through because he's not in the game because of that unfortunate injury to him. And Beverington really is just used as like a hammer. He's just like a hammer going right up through the middle in these short yardage situations, and good blocker for Scott, but they really can just key on Scott.
3rd and 8 for the Patriots. Bevino and Scott in the backfield, open set. The sprint out pass by Hable. He has room if he can beat Michael to the corner. He fires to the end zone. One hops his receiver. Good call by the official. That was obviously a trap. Not very happy with that call was number 42, the tight end, Troy Lavinia. But that was a one-hop, Joe, and a good call by that back judge to declare right away that that was an incomplete pass. So CB East will come on with their kicker, Tim Becker, as Justin Hable will hold and attempt a 32-yard field goal.
That was a really nice read by Hable in that last play. He saw his tight end coming through the end zone. He just couldn't get it to him because of the good defense by North Penn, not to be covering him, but to get in the way of the pass.
So the 32-yard field goal attempt, 32-yard field goal attempt by Becker is up, and it is good. A 32-yard field goal by Tim Becker. A great kick and a good play all around by the CBE special teams squad. Good hold by Hable and a good snap by their long snapper. That was Mike Benscoter. So 17-14 now. CB East has taken the lead in this third quarter with 4:16 to go on the 32-yard field goal by Tim Becker. So the North Penn defense, like you said, Joe, almost a moral victory there, coming away with just a field goal after letting CB East basically march down the field, but they did buckle down when they needed to and got away with just a field goal.
You're right, at the end there, they made a nice stop on Scott not to let him break the contain. And that was the first time on that last drive that we saw North Penn stop stop him from getting around the corner.
So Justin Habel will come on to kick off this ball for CB East. Aaron Thomas and Heike Johnson are back to receive. Make that Martin Leonard. Heike Johnson getting a little breather on special teams. So North Penn down by 3 points, 17-14. CB East has the lead, and North Penn really needs to put a good drive together on this possession. A low spiral kickoff. Bouncing around, picked up by Aaron Thomas. Cuts his way out to the 25-yard line. A little miscommunication there between Thomas and Alou Mims. But the Knights will take over on their own 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Knights.
It's always dangerous on a kickoff to let the ball bounce off of you because you never really know where it's going to go. But fortunately, they recovered the ball. And now North Penn just really needs to put together a nice drive, get down, and at least get a field goal. And a touchdown would be definitely better, more points. But just a good drive here, take a good chunk of the clock out, and just don't let East have the ball back on offense right now.
4:11 to go in the third quarter. Tight formation for the Knights, and it's a quick handoff up the middle. And no gain on that play, as that one was given up the middle to Nate Vielhauer. It'll be 2nd and 10 for North Penn. So the offensive line really has to buckle down for the Knights and fire off the ball and blow CB East defensive line off that ball on the quick counts by Tom Parentozzi. And really, North Penn has one of those bigger offensive lines in Suburban 1 league, but CB East does have a rather large defensive front four, led by Bevavinos, Ben Scoter, Umbro, and Toka. But we'll see if North Penn can continue to fire off the ball and use their size to their advantage. The pass up the middle is just missed on that interception attempt by R.J. White. That ball was tipped going for Evan Fitzpatrick. It was thrown a bit over his head, maybe a bit behind him on that play pass, but good coverage by the CB East defense, almost forcing an interception right there.
Very dangerous pass by Parentozzi on that play. I don't think he could see his receiver again because of the good rush by the CB East linebacker, who didn't get touched or did not get picked up the middle because of the fullback, Nate Vielhauer, going out for a little flare pass, which happened before. And Parentozzi really has to drop that far because he's not the tallest of quarterbacks in the league.
So Parentozzi now 2 of 6 on the game from passing. He's in the shotgun now. Johnson in motion. Patriots showing blitz, and here it comes. The quick dump pass, the wide receiver screen to Heike Johnson. Gets a good cut and does have that first down. A good play call. North Penn has been using that recently in their last couple of games, that little wide receiver quick screen to Heike Johnson. They used that effectively against CB West. And a first down for North Penn results on that wide receiver screen. Good call by Coach Pettin.
That's a really nice call by Coach Pettin, just to catch the defense off guard. They really weren't expecting that play.
1st and 10 North Penn on their own 36-yard line. Clock running, just a tick under 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Parentozzi under center as Mims goes in motion, and CB East jumped. They're going to ring up that defensive end, number 68, Scott Toka, on the offsides call, I believe. I don't think he was drawn offsides. And it is offsides on Scott Toka and CB East. 1st and 5 North Penn, getting a little free yardage right there. They'll have the ball on their own 41-yard line as a result of that penalty.
That can really be attributed to North Penn's different style of formations and play callings. They have a lot of motion, and he might have just been drawn offsides by the motion.
Of course, North Penn getting a good drive as it seems so far together late in this third quarter. They only had 5 yards total offense on that first drive. They did a 3-and-out and had to punt. So Parentozzi with Vielhauer and Johnson in the backfield has the play fake, looking deep to Evan Fitzpatrick. Little contact on that play, but they're going to rule that uncatchable. Incidental contact as well. A little bit overthrown to Evan Fitzpatrick on that streak pattern down the near sideline. Could have been a big play for Evan Fitzpatrick and the Knights, but it goes over his head. 2nd and 5 North Penn, and that's one of those things when you have a 1st and 5, Joe, you can really take advantage of that it's a passing situation. You can feel free to go deep down the field so long as it isn't intercepted, because you have 3 more downs to only get 5 yards. And that's really the only problem with jumping off sides on a 1st and 10. You really open up the offensive game plan for the other team. Vielhauer in motion now. Parentozzi on the sprint out with the option. Johnson, good blocking by Vielhauer. Johnson gets the corner, stays in bounds. First down, North Penn into CB East territory at the 47-yard line. So sticking with that option and getting good downfield blocking from Nate Vielhauer allows High-Key Johnson to turn the corner and pick up the Knights' first down.
Anytime High-Key Johnson can get going up the field, it's never good for the defense, especially the linebackers, who he's usually quicker than.
Clock stopped, 2:10 to go in the third quarter, 17-14. CB East has the lead over North Penn. Vielhauer in motion, now Mims and Johnson in the open set. Quick give up the middle to Mims, he has room. Once again right there, it looked like Evan Fitzpatrick could have had a downfield block and shied away from it. Mims could have broken that, looked like that was the only man left to beat. So, Lou Mims picks up 8 yards, 2nd and 2, North Penn.
In a position like that, Fitzpatrick really has to have eyes in the back of his head. He's got to see Mims coming towards him and just know to just hit the guy. He didn't even touch him on that play, and that really could have broken it for him.
So a big crowd on hand tonight as it's homecoming at North Penn High School. Glad he can join us on North Penn Television, along with Joe Alcaro. I'm Kyle Berger. 1:30 to go and counting in this third quarter. North Penn down by 3. 2nd and 2. Counter to Johnson. Grabbed in the backfield and stuffed by a host of CB West defenders. Breaking in to get that original tackle was number 79, Mike Benscoter, and was joined by a couple of his teammates, setting up now 3rd and about 4, maybe a long 3 on the CB East 41-yard line. So we'll see what North Penn can do here. Might try to go back to that option play, but you never know.
You're right. The option or the off-tackle play is one of North Penn's better plays, especially tonight. But they're in the shotgun right now.
But now they'll move up as Parentozzi comes in. Split backs in the backfield. Fitzpatrick to the near sideline. And they'll give it outside to Heike Johnson. Great block by Nate Vielhauer. Springs Johnson out to the 30, the stiff arm, and inside the 25-yard line to the 23. And once again, Joe, Nate Vielhauer getting the job done.
Right, just a great block by Vielhauer on that play to spring Johnson to the outside. And once again, the off-tackle play really is getting North Penn the yardage they need. It's just there for them. It's their constant. They just always go back to that whenever they need 5 or 6 yards.
They wind up picking up about 15 on that play. 1st and 10 Knights with the clock down to 15 seconds. Ball on CB East 23. This should be the last play of the third quarter as it's given to Vielhauer up the middle. And he's pushed out of bounds, met at the line of scrimmage by Colby Umbrell. And the time has expired in this third quarter, so the Knights having a good drive. They'll carry it over to the fourth quarter, where they'll take over at CB East 23-yard line. They'll take the walk to the end of the field. There's a timeout on the field, and we'll take it with them. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter of action at Crawford Stadium as North Penn is finding themselves down 17-14 to the CB East Patriots. Stay with us. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Tom, where you going? Hey, we got a ball game here, pardon me.
Pitcher got a rubber arm. It's has. Huh? Pitcher has a rubber arm.
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium, where North Penn is down 17-14. I'm Kyle Berger, and that's Joe Alcaro. We're up in the press box with the best seats in the house here at Crawford Stadium. 2nd and 9 for North Penn on the 22-yard line. So we're starting the fourth quarter. So North Penn will pick it up. Kendrick Smith split to the far side. Vielhauer and Johnson in the I formation in the backfield, and it's a quick give up the middle to Vielhauer. He'll pick up about 2 yards. So North Penn will have 3rd and about 6 or 7 right on that 20-yard line of CB East.
And you'd have to expect that they'd go back to the option or either to the off tackle here, especially in a very important drive here. They really need to answer to the field goal that East got on their last possession. So North Penn really looking to get some yardage here.
And bad news for the Knights. It appears that their junior lineman, Dave Koslow, is down with an injury. It might just be a cramp. You can never tell from all the way up here, but Mr. Dave DeFusco, the athletic trainer at North Penn High School, is giving him a look as he was injured on that first play of the 4th quarter. So Dave Koslow is getting looked over, and he'll come to his feet. He's favoring that right leg. Might be an ankle problem. So Koslow is helped off the field by Coach Beck and Mr. Dave DeFusco. So he'll have to come out of the game. North Penn will have to find a replacement for him on the offensive line. So that's a pretty shocking blow to North Penn, not only losing one of their offensive linemen, but one of their defensive ends. And Koslow and Mays have really done an excellent job for the Knights so far tonight.
You're right. They're doing a great job containing Scott, who really hasn't impacted this game as much as he has other games earlier this season for his team. And Koslow, one of the bigger guys on the line and one of the stronger guys on North Penn. And it's a shame that he's not on the field right now.
So 3rd and 7 from the CB East 20-yard line. Martin Leonard and Heike Johnson in the near slot. Vielhauer the single setback. Fitzpatrick to the left side. And motion all over the field. Not good discipline by the North Penn offense. Might have been a mix-up on the snap count there, as seemed like everybody moved except for the center, Jeff Bloom. So the call is procedure against the North Penn Knights. And they'll take it back 5 yards, and that'll set up a more difficult 3rd and 12. And Joe, that might have just knocked the North Penn Knights out of field goal range.
Yeah, you never know. I think on that play, like you indicated, it was just a snap count problem. The center and the quarterback knew what they were doing, but the rest of the team really didn't. And as you said, they're really close to being out of field goal range of Tom Parentozzi.
So the Knights will spread out the field with Leonard all the way to the near side and Fitzpatrick all the way to the far side. Johnson in the near side slot. Parentozzi in the shotgun. Vielhauer stays back to block. Parentozzi looking over the middle and threw it behind his intended receiver, Kendrick Smith. Not a very good ball by Parentozzi right there, and North Penn is most likely in 4-down territory here. They're just going to have to go for it. This is out of field goal range. This will be a 42-yard field goal, which is really a long field goal for any high school kicker.
That was great production by the offensive line on that play. Parentozzi had all day. He just couldn't find his receiver.
So it will be 4th and 11 from the CB East 25-yard line. This is a crucial play in this game with 10:57 left in the 4th quarter. Parentozzi in the shotgun, rolling right. Fires over the middle. Johnson cannot hang on to it. Flag on the play. We'll see if we can pick this up. I'm not sure what it is. It is a chop block against North Penn. They're going to get Nate Vielhauer on this, I believe. And the bad thing about a chop block is it can injure a player, and it appears that that is what has happened, as Troy Lavinia, the tight end and defensive lineman for the Patriots, is down with pain in his right leg, it looks like. So North Penn can't convert on that 4th and 11 conversion. So CB East will take over on their 25-yard line.
You're right, a chop block is one of the most unsportsmanlike blocks in the game. You're just aiming for the other guy's knees, and you really never like to see guys get hurt in a high school football game, especially seriously.
So North Penn will try to hold and save as much clock time as they can with 10:53 to go in the 4th and final quarter, and CB East holding on to a 3-point lead with the score 17-14. So Lavinia is in visible pain down on that field, and while there's an injury timeout, we're going to head to a break, and we'll be back with the rest of the 4th quarter after this, so stay with us.
I'm Cynthia Wood. Join us this week for Meals You Can Make. We're going to have 2 different pizza recipes if you'd like to join us. The ingredients that you'll need are green peppers, tomatoes, pepperoni, and cheese for the first pizza. The second pizza you'll need some already cooked chicken, mushrooms, onion, fresh basil, garlic, and some mozzarella cheese, and 1 package with 2 pizza crusts in it. We hope you'll join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at 5:30 here on North Penn Television. We'll see you then.
Back now at Crawford Stadium, as the injured Patriot player, Troy Lavinia, was able to walk off on his own power, so we hope the best for him as they take a look at him over at the far sideline. 1st and 10, CB East after the failed 4th down conversion for North Penn. Motion again coming from CB East's offense. Bevavino and Scott. Scott will take the counter. Coming up the middle and picking up 1st down and then some. Tackle finally made by Mike Mays all the way back deep in North Penn's defensive territory. First and 10 now for CB East. Clock running, 10:35 to go. Ball on their own 39-yard line.
That was the most explosive run we've seen by Scott all night. He was breaking tackles left and right.
See if they give it to him again on 1st and 10. And they do, up the middle, and he cuts it outside. Gets by Heike Johnson, gets by Lou Mims, and picks up another 10 or so yards for CB East as he goes out of bounds right towards midfield. 1st down again. And a good sign for North Penn as Dave Koslow has come back into the game.
Brian Scott, as soon as he got that 1,000 yards for the season, has really turned up his game here in the second half. He's averaged almost 10 yards each carry since that happened.
So 1st and 10 again, ball at midfield. CB East trying to add to their 3-point lead. Abel hands off inside to Bevavino, gets by Mike Mays. Parentozzi clipped from behind, no call, but it is finally Mike Kapusta who brings down Bevavino. And now Kapusta appears to be injured. Make that Tom Parentozzi, he's limping. And really, he got drilled from behind on that play as we saw, but no call.
That was one of Bevavino's best runs of the night. That was the first time we've really seen him break into the open field instead of just being used for a battering ram up the middle. It was a good job by him. I didn't know he had that much skill.
So Tom Parentozzi now the quarterback, D-back, and kicker for the Knights. This is a crushing blow if Parentozzi has to come out of this game. His left leg might have gotten banged up on that last play as he was hit from behind. So the clock is stopped with exactly 10 minutes to go in the 4th and final quarter. North Penn still down 17-14.
It looked like Parentozzi was all right for a second, then something happened to his body and he just fell down.
So we'll take this break as they're looking at Tom Parentozzi. We'll be back after this.
They've given our generation a label, X, Generation Nothing. They say we have no sense of purpose. They say we have no cause to believe in. Who are they? Join the thousands of us who are making a difference and wear a label that does mean something.
We're back at Crawford Stadium as Tom Parentozzi has come off on the field. He is visibly writhing in pain on the sideline. It might just be a cramp to his calf as he's being stretched out by Dave DeFusco. But meanwhile, it's 1st and 10 for CB East, dangerously threatening the North Penn defense right now on their North Penn 37-yard line. Knights coming with the blitz. And a good call on defense as Nate Vielhauer stuffs Mark Notwick in the backfield for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Patriots.
That was one of North Penn's first blitzes we've seen all year, Kyle. They usually are not a blitzing team. The linebackers usually step back and then come up, but on that play, it paid off.
So while we have the chance, we'll tell you that Brian Scott now has come over the 100-yard rushing mark with 119 yards on the game. So he has really stepped it up in the second half. Abel taking the snap, off tackle to Scott, cutting it up, and picks up about 4 yards. It will be 3rd and 6, so a big defensive play coming up for North Penn.
North Penn really needs to get a stop here, Kyle.
And with the clock running at 8:40, that is starting to become a factor in the game. Of course, both teams still have all 3 timeouts left. And CB East will have 3rd and 8 on North Penn's 35-yard line, and this might be 4-down territory for East, so North Penn probably has to come up with 2 big defensive stops right now.
You can almost bet on either an off-tackle play with Scott or a passing play.
Scott comes in motion, split to the left now, and it's quickly on a reverse to Scott. North Penn's defense bit on that fake, and Scott is off to the races. 10, 5, and touchdown, Brian Scott. So there you go. North Penn saw that Scott was in motion and figured it would be a pass play, but Scott came back quickly with the reverse and scored his 3rd touchdown of the game. The score is now 23-14 CB East.
The thing that really made that play was the containment was there, but as soon as he cut back up the middle, nobody was there to stop him. The linebackers had already shifted over to the one side, and that cost him a little hesitation. They just couldn't get Scott. He's got great breakaway speed, and we just saw it.
Tim Becker's extra point is up, and it's good. 24-14. North Penn now has 2 possessions that they must score on if they want to come back. Here's a look at that Brian Scott reverse, which was really a nice play. Here you see him coming around that far side and getting by a host of North Penn players and beating Kenrick Smith, showing his great explosive acceleration and speed. And not much Kenrick Smith could do about that one. He just got outrun on that, and you can't teach speed.
He's just playing faster than him, Kyle. But Scott really has picked up his game here in the second half, where big-time players pick up their game in crunch time. And that's what we've seen here from Scott. He's almost doubled his production from the first half already. He averages like 9 yards a carry now in the second half alone.
So looking back at last week when North Penn outscored Pennsbury 28-0 in the second half, it's the Knights who find themselves being shut out in this second half. 24-14 is the score, and CB East has come out with a 10-0 edge in this second half with 8:04 to go in the 4th quarter. Right now on the sideline, while this kickoff is happening, Heike Johnson is being looked at by Dave DeFusco. So we hope that he's all right. That would be a shocking blow to North Penn, as they've already had Tom Parentozzi injured. We'll see if he can come back into the game. Abel's kickoff is high and short. Fumbled by Aaron Thomas. Where is it? Out of bounds. A lucky break, as special teams have really been a thorn in North Penn's side so far tonight, Joe.
Yeah, you're right. They're just not catching the ball coming down off the air. They're letting it either bounce or they're just letting it go right through their hands and off their shoulder pads, which is never a good idea because, as I stated before, you just don't know where it went, where it goes. And as we saw in that play, Aaron Thomas, he had no idea where the ball was, and luckily it went out of bounds.
And it looked like on that kickoff, Joe, that North Penn was trying to set up a wall toward the near side of the field, and the middle receivers for North Penn just kind of turned their back on the ball and ran to the near side of the field, not even knowing where the ball was, and it should have been taken by one of them, you would think. So 8:02 to go in the 4th quarter. Parentozzi in the shotgun. Offsides on that play was Scott Toka, but was he drawn offsides? We'll go to the official for the call. And we'll see what they say. It was offside, so Scott Toka was not provoked. That's his second offsides of this game. Setting up another 1st and 5. We'll see if they go with the same play that they did on that last 1st and 5, going deep to Evan Fitzpatrick.
North Penn really doesn't have time for a long scoring drive here. They've got to get scores. They've got to score a touchdown. They've got to score a field goal. They just got to get some points on the board right now.
Yeah, North Penn, obviously, time is of the essence. Even though they have 3 timeouts, they're going to need to get 2 possessions and 2 scoring drives. So 5 wide receivers, North Penn obviously passing. Parentozzi, the wide receiver, screen to Johnson, and he breaks loose. 40, 45, outside, and tackled at midfield by Steve Kreider. A good tackle by the safety. But Heike Johnson, we thought he was injured, but he's back in, getting that wide receiver screen that is so effective for North Penn.
Right, that's a big play for North Penn. They really needed that momentum booster right there. To just know that they could get 40 yards on a play has just got to give them great confidence. And now they might even go back to another passing situation, as it has been working pretty well for them tonight.
So Parentozzi will stay in the shotgun. Leonard and Fitzpatrick to the near side. Kennard Smith, Heike Johnson to the far side. Lou Mims is a single setback. Parentozzi drops back. It's a center screen to Mims, but picked up nicely by the CB East defense as Tony Bevavino makes that tackle. And a good defense on that center screen, Joe, is you'll send a lot of guys blitzing, and you'll just have those two defensive linemen, those interior linemen, drop back almost in pass coverage, and they only pick up 1 yard on that play, so good defense by CB East.
Yeah, great job of Bevavino not to be fooled on a screenplay, which you see a lot in high school football. A lot of guys are anxious to get to the quarterback and sack him, but it was just good judgment on the part of Bevavino on that play.
So Parentozzi now in the shotgun again, going deep over the middle. Martin Leonard is draped all over the back by the defensive Mark Notwick. No call. Coach Pettin upset with that one, looking for a pass interference call, but might have been ruled uncatchable. It was out of reach of the outstretched arms of Martin Leonard.
That's the second time we've seen CB East defenders bump a North Penn receiver after going for a ball, and I guess the referees are just figuring that they're uncatchable. But on that play, Martin Leonard had a lot of momentum going into the ball, and he might have gotten an extra step taken away from him by that push in the back.
Just a tick under 7 minutes. They're going to go trips right. 3rd and 9. Johnson, Leonard, and Fitzpatrick all together on this right side. Parentozzi will roll to the right, pressure from the back, throwing deep, and caught by Johnson down to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and out of bounds at the 2 or the 3-yard line. Johnson was wide open on that play, and it looked like Parentozzi was thrown to Fitzpatrick, but hey, look at Johnson. He's wide open behind that CB East defense, and that's a big play and a big momentum builder for the Knights.
It looked like the two cornerbacks stepped up, as you'll see in this replay coming up here.
Okay, we have a little technical difficulty, so we won't have that replay. So
I'll just explain what happened. The two cornerbacks stepped up in front, and Heike Johnson was left wide open right behind them. It was like a layer of defense. They tried to go for the interception, and it cost them.
Parentozzi hands off to Johnson. Right tackle, nothing doing there. No gain. 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Parentozzi now with that pass has 122 yards passing. Clock running, 6.5 to go. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. North Penn down 24-14 to the Patriots. They're going to have to try to get it into the end zone quickly, then have a defensive stop on their next series.
This is exactly what North Penn needs, though. A couple big plays to get them back in this game.
Fitzpatrick split to the left. Johnson and Vielhauer in the backfield. Quickly up the middle to Vielhauer. Down to the 1-yard line. So 3rd and goal. Make that the 2-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 2. See if they go with Vielhauer again here.
North Penn really doesn't want to settle for a field goal here, Kyle. They really just got to get in that end zone, get their 7 points, get out of here, make a defensive stop, get back down the field, and score again.
Exactly, because when you're down by 10 points, you want to get that touchdown first, because then you can either get a touchdown or score a field goal. You don't have to have that sense of urgency to score a touchdown. Let's see what they do. Johnson, nothing. Down to the 1-yard line, cannot get in. And this is a big play right here, Joe. You want to see if North Penn can get into the end zone. Parentozzi's going to come over and talk it over. They're going to bring in the full house backfield. But it might be the field goal formation. We'll see.
The front line has really stepped up for CB's defense right here on this little series. Heike Johnson, you would almost think that it's an automatic touchdown. He's down on this 2-yard line. But as we've seen so far, CB East really putting up a good defensive stop.
So North Penn will have a little extra time to talk this crucial play over as the Knights call timeout. Coach Pettin will come out and talk to his Knights. And I'm not sure if they're going to go for the field goal or the touchdown here with the ball just inside that 1-yard line. And as we said, Joe, this is the play of the game right now.
Yeah, pretty much. You really want to get this touchdown, as you stated before. The touchdown is the harder part of the 10-point score, the touchdown and field goal. And when you're driving down the field for the second time, if you make the defensive stop, if you get the touchdown, you win. If you kick the field goal, you go into overtime. So really, it just comes down to this play right here.
Heike Johnson now has 128 yards rushing for the night, so he's basically in the same league as Brian Scott tonight. And they both picked up some big pass plays as Johnson did, and that was the key play in this drive.
You're right. Johnson is almost a mirror image of Brian Scott was last year. Not a big name. Not many people have heard of him, but he steps up in big games and against big running backs from other teams to make himself look better against them.
So the Knights are going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 1 as the crowd rises to their feet. Parentozzi with the full house backfield. Mays and Mims in motion. Vielhauer in the back as well. Parentozzi gives to Vielhauer. Touchdown Knights! Nate Vielhauer, and the Knights are within 4 points. No doubt about that one, Joe. It's Nate Vielhauer time when you're inside that 3-yard line.
That's just a great play by North Penn to bring all the players over there. They're not trying to fool anybody on that play. Just great blocking by the offensive line, especially from that left side.
So North Penn only taking about 3 minutes off of the clock. So a good, quick scoring drive for the Knights. And Parentozzi is on to kick the extra point. Kenrick Smith will hold.
This is a very important extra point here, Kyle.
Yeah, definitely. If they miss this one, they have to get a touchdown. But no matter, it's good. Parentozzi puts it straight through the uprights, and the crowd appreciating the effort of the North Penn offense as Parentozzi marches off the field after commandeering that big drive down the field, and a very important drive as they're within 3 points right now. And now, Joe, the only question is, will the Knights defense be able to shut down the potent CB East offense led by Brian Scott?
They really just got to get psyched right now. They just got to keel on Scott because they know they're going to go to him because they want to take some time off the clock, and he's their big-time player. They have to contain him, then they have to get the help coming in from the inside when he cuts back and just stop Scott, basically, because Hable really is not going to pass too much on this next drive, you probably won't say.
Yeah, really the best thing that CB East could do in the minds of North Penn is pass the ball, because if you're on defense trying to stop the clock, the best thing that can happen is an incomplete pass. No yardage gained, and the clock stops. So North Penn's defense probably will be keying on the rush of Brian Scott in this, the 4th quarter, with 5:03 to go. Parentozzi will kick off. Deep to receive is Brian Scott and R.J. White. Parentozzi awaiting the whistle and gets it. White and Scott at their 10-yard line. Parentozzi now with the kick. It's a high boomer toward the near sideline, taken by White at his 10. And good special teams coverage by Clay Kucklick as he comes down and tackles White at the 26-yard line. So good job by the special teams right there. CB East is going to have their worst field position of the game, although it's not too bad at the 27-yard line, but good coverage as only White was able to get 13 yards on that return.
This is where it really becomes a game right now. The defensive line has to step up. The linebackers have to step up. The cornerbacks have to step up. Everybody on defense just has to be on the same page and stop CB East right here.
One thing we haven't seen yet so far in this game, Joe, is a turnover, and what a great time to have a turnover on defense.
That's right.
So backs in the eye, Bevavino and Scott. And once again, no surprise, Scott off tackle to the right side, breaks a tackle, but is finally brought down by the North Penn defense. Good job tackling right there by Martin Leonard and Jeff Bloom, I believe. 2nd down and 9 is the situation for CB East. Clock running, 4.5 to go. Ball is on their own 28-yard line. So if North Penn can get a 3-and-out right here, you can imagine, Joe, they're really going to be in good field position to set up that next drive. Abel under center. He has Rob Linders to the near side. Scott in the backfield with Bevavino in an open set. Give us to Scott up the middle, and a great stop by North Penn's defense. Jeff Bloom in the backfield. Nothing for Scott. And timeout is called on the field. I believe North Penn called the timeout.
That's what you need right there, Kyle. Big defensive stop. by Jeff Bloom. Just bounced off his blocker, read the play perfectly, and just nailed Brian Scott before he could get any momentum going upfield.
Yeah, Jeff Bloom in that nose guard position got right by the center, Mike Morato, and he just blew off the ball, getting a good jump on the snap and stuffed Scott in the backfield. And Scott is obviously more dangerous once he passes that line of scrimmage. If you meet him in the backfield, you're probably going to bring him down.
Jeff Bloom is one of those underrated players. You don't hear that much about it in North Penn. He's a good center. He's a catalyst for their offense, and he's also a great nose guard. He always gets in there. He's a great he has a great defensive push into the backfield all the time. He's always in there. He's always getting tackles.
And does a good job this year, of course, filling in for the two-way starter Phil Chang, who the Knights lost to graduation last year. He's really filled in nicely in the shoes of the captain, Phil Chang. 4:07 is where the clock is stopped. 3rd and 9 for CB East. A huge play right here as East is up by a score of 24-21. Ball on their own 28-yard line. This is your key play of the game right now. Scott the setback with Bevavino. Now Scott in motion. Watch that reverse. You never know. Play fake. Cable looking deep. Is flushed out of the pocket. He's scrambling, looking for that first down. And brought down short by the Knights defense. Excellent coverage downfield. Coaches want a timeout to stop the clock. Good job downfield by Parentozzi and Smith covering all of Habel's receivers. Of course, he had to be flushed out of the pocket and brought down by North Penn's defense. He picks up about 3 yards, but it's 4th and 6. And the ball will be on CB East 31-yard line.
As a quarterback, you really don't like that position. You're back there scrambling, looking for a receiver. Nobody's open. You know you need 9 yards, but you can only scramble for 4. It's kind of an indecision point, and Habel did the best he could do, but you got to give a lot of credit to North Penn's coverage downfield, like you mentioned. Nobody was open for him to even attempt a pass to.
I'll tell you what, though, Joe. Justin Habel showing good football awareness and not throwing that pass, which could have been intercepted. Just taking the 3-yard gain, give him the ball back with a punt rather than an interception. And really good job by Habel not to throw that ball and not getting sacked as well. Good alertness in the backfield in the pocket by Habel as he was flushed out, just decided to take off. And he'll concede the punt rather than giving up an interception. 3:52 is where the clock stands in this fourth quarter. A real thriller at Crawford Stadium. Habel back to punt. And deep to receive for North Penn is Lou Mims. High snap, great catch by Habel. He gets it away. It's a high wobbler. Taken by Mims at the 30-yard line. Plenty of room. Out to the 40, 45, and out across the 47-yard line, out of bounds. Good return by Lou Mims as the crowd rises to their feet at Crawford Stadium, urging on the offense. They have 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go, 52 yards. All they need is a field goal to force overtime. But North Penn would obviously want to get out of here with a win instead of an overtime thriller.
That was almost the biggest mistake they could have made on that play, East. That was almost the worst snap that could possibly happen, go over his head. And Habel did a good job of just getting the ball and just getting it off his foot. But Lou Mims did a better job of running it upfield.
So the crowd making some noise here. Vielhauer the single setback. Leonard and Fitzpatrick to the near side. Johnson and Smith to the far side. Parentozzi. Quick give up the middle to Vielhauer. Barging his way out across midfield. Clock running, 3.5 to go now. Pickup of about 3, 2nd and 7, North Penn at midfield.
You really would just like to see North Penn get another quick touchdown like they did before and not have to worry about the indecision of going for a field goal or going for a touchdown. So running plays like that might not be seen that much throughout this drive.
And Fitzpatrick to the near side of the field. Power I formation. Vielhauer along with Mims and Johnson set back further for the Knights in the tailback position. Now it's Mims in motion. Parentozzi running the option, gives it to Johnson. He has room, but is collapsed down by the Central Bucks East defense. Good job to stay with him by Troy Lavinia. And a big play right now, 3rd and 4 coming up for North Penn. And obviously, Joe, if they don't get it, they will be going for it.
Of course, they really need to just get within either field goal range or to get a touchdown, but they really would rather have the touchdown. They'd rather win the game than have to worry about it in overtime. They should just concentrate on this play right here.
And Coach Pettin has called a a rather decent game so far for the Knights. We'll see what he calls on this play. They go with trips left. A little confusion on the sideline. North Penn has to get a play off here before the play clock expires. Parentozzi does get it off. It's a quick 3-step drop. Flag on the play. Coach Pettin is extremely irked at this official. I'm not sure what they're talking about down there. So you see him and Coach Beck, the assistant head coach, giving a mouthful to tonight's referee. The call is delay game against North Penn, and that's a killer penalty right there, Joe. Of course, North Penn out of timeouts cannot call a timeout as they had the wrong formation in there, it appeared. So 3rd and 9. This is going to be a tough play call for North Penn.
I really thought that they got that play off before the whistle. I thought they snapped the ball before I heard a whistle, but the referees didn't think it that way. But yeah, this becomes even more of a crucial play. It's what, 3rd and 9? It's going to have to be a passing play.
So they'll go with 4 wide receivers, Johnson and Smith to the near side, Leonard and Fitzpatrick to the far side. Parentozzi shotgun. Vielhauer in the backfield will be blocking. Quick slant to Kenrick Smith. Can he get the first down? Yes. 35-30 and tackled at that 31-yard line. What a great call again, and a good read by Parentozzi on that quick slant to Kenrick Smith, and a great juke at midfield to get across. North Penn now going out of the no huddle with no timeouts left. We'll wait for the clock to start. 2:04 to go now in the 4th quarter. Trips right. Parentozzi in the shotgun. Vielhauer in the backfield. Takes the snap. Rolling right. Quick dump over to Johnson. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Pickup of only about 1 on that play and the clock running. Only picking up 1 yard on that. You'd almost rather see him drop that one, Joe, to save some time on the clock.
Yeah, you're right. I thought it hit the ground on that play, but we really don't have the best angle up here.
So North Penn, time is of the essence. 1:35 to go. 2nd and 9 from CB East 30. 4 wide receivers to the left side. Vielhauer, Johnson, Leonard, and Fitzpatrick. Smith to the near side, and he's looking at Smith on the 3-step drop. Smith has it. Can he get out of bounds? No, clock running, 1:19 and counting. North Penn's going to have to hurry up. Only a pickup of about 5 or 6 yards on that play. 3rd and 3 for North Penn. Another crucial play. Right now, this would be a 39-yard field goal. We obviously want to get this first down. We'll make it 3rd and 1. Short yardage situation. We'll see what they do. Parentozzi will not be in the shotgun this time. Vielhauer is a single setback. Johnson, Leonard and Fitzpatrick to the left side, and Kenrick Smith to the right side. Parentozzi back, quick drop to Smith. Connects with him. Down to the 10, 5, and down to the 1-yard line where the clock is stopped. I don't believe it, Joe. Another great play to Kenrick Smith. Knights are enthused about that one.
It's just great play calling by the coaches on that play. Coach Patton does a great job all game just to make great calls.
North Penn on the ball now. Clock running, 42 to go. Parentozzi will spike the ball. A good play right there. Saving some time on the clock. Clock is stopped with 40 seconds left. Now North Penn will have time to send in their goal line personnel. That does waste it down, however. That will make it 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line of CB East. You can't ask for a better finish than this, Joe.
Yeah, you're right. This last drive by North Penn has just been stupendous. Good play calling, good catches by Kenrick Smith. He's really just concentrating. Tom Parentozzi finding the open man, and the slant call has just been unbelievable.
The crowd is on their feet at Crawford Stadium. All around, a great game by both teams. 24-21. CB East has the lead. A little confusion on the sideline. Heike Johnson has to get back into this play. North Penn has to get the play off. Parentozzi telling Johnson the play. He'll be in the fullback position for this play. Up the middle to Vielhauer. Touchdown Knights, Nate Vielhauer. The Knights have taken the lead. Another great call, Joe. Nate Vielhauer up the middle on a goal line situation. This crowd is going nuts.
How many times have we seen that, Kyle? We see that time and time after again. Nate Vielhauer just stepping up like a captain would do. It's just a great play call. Great blocking by the offensive line. And this last drive by North Penn has really been put together real nicely by the coaching staff.
Yeah, they worked that 2-minute drill to perfection. So this extra point, Joe, is actually rather important. If they miss this, CB East just needs a field goal to tie and force overtime. But if they score this extra point, CB East will need to get a touchdown to win this game. So a crucial extra point. Tom Parentozzi will attempt this one, and it's up, and it blocked. I don't believe it. CB East now has a chance to come back and tie, but Anyway, we'll take a look at this replay on the up-the-middle run by Nate Vielhauer. Just simple smash-mouth, hard-nosed football. Up the middle, touchdown Knights. And just offensive line, once again, Joe, taking over this game.
Mike Mays on that last play blocked 2 guys, if you didn't notice that. He just took out everybody. The whole team was psyched on that play.
So Tom Parentozzi, after that drive, working the 2-minute drill to perfection, has 179 yards passing. That is by far his best game of the year. He's really stepped it up. And he'll come in to kick off this for the Knights. 37 seconds left. That's plenty of time for CB East, who has, I believe, all 3 of their timeouts left, Joe.
It's a very important kickoff, too. They can't let Scott break one for a deep one. The special teams really has to get downfield and just get them down and let them try to work their offense. And they can't give them good field position either.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a squib kick here toward the middle of the field. So coverage, once again, as you said, Joe, really important on this kickoff. Tom Parentozzi will kick this for the Knights. And it is a squib kick taken by the middle of CB's defense, and a smart play right there on the near sideline by number 28, Mark Notwick, to get out of bounds. A smart play not only in the fact that he gets out of bounds and saves time, but also prevents a fumble if he was going to run it back. So good play by Notwick, and CB East now has 73 yards to go for a touchdown, but they do just need to get into field goal range, and they have enough timeouts that they can use them to their advantage.
And first downs do stop the clock. That's another important thing, especially with Brian Scott back there at running back.
So the crowd remains on their feet at Crawford Stadium as CB East is trying to come back. They'll go with 4 wide receivers. Cable, the quick drop, pumps, flushed out of the pocket, pressure by Koslow. And Koslow brings them down for a 10-yard loss. What a great job by Dave Koslow. Hey, he might have been injured earlier in the game, but what a good job by Koslow. You can't ask for anything better than that on a first play of their drive.
That kind of just kills their momentum right there, Kyle, as you'll see on this replay coming up. Koslow just chasing him out of the pocket, just going after him. Just a nice play.
And once again, Jeff Bloom right in the thick of things right there.
You're right, he's always around the ball, Kyle.
So North Penn has 19 seconds left to kill off CB East as the score is 27-24. So CB East just calling timeout will now be heading out on the field trying to get down into North Penn territory while they will set up a field goal. At least that's their plan. North Penn's defense probably is not going to let that happen, though.
This is really the most I've ever seen a crowd here into a game at Crawford Stadium. It's homecoming night. There's a lot of excitement in the air. North Penn just wants to win. Everybody's paying attention to the game right now.
So North Penn obviously coming into this game knowing that they needed to win this if they want to stay on track to get a District 1 playoff berth. Have managed somehow to pull this one out. But of course, with 19 seconds left, you never know what can happen. So,
especially with big playmakers like Scott in there. You really just got a key on him right now.
And they're going to split him to the near side. Vielhauer lined up against him, looking to go bump and run coverage. And he does, jacks him up at the line. This one is thrown right to Lou Mims, and he picks it off. The Knights are going to win this one. Lou Mims picks it off. North Penn football, and the crowd is ecstatic. It's bedlam at Crawford Stadium.
Crowd is loving it here, Kyle. And why not? I mean, North Penn coming from behind, 10 points down, coming back, fighting their way back in the second half. And that was probably one of the poorest efforts we've seen from Hable all game.
Here's Lou Mims' interception. This was not a very well thrown ball by Hable, but as I said, Nate Vielhauer with that bump and run coverage at Scott right there on the bottom of your screen disrupted that pattern. And this one's just a nice over-the-shoulder catch to Lou Mims.
Right.
And North Penn takes over. 11 seconds left. They're going to kneel on this one, and they'll come away with a 27-24 victory against CB East. Parentozzi takes a knee, and that's it. North Penn has defeated CB East and improves to 6-1 on the season. Looking ahead to next week's game, it's going to be the Neshaminy Redskins bringing it to Crawford Stadium, and that should be another good game as Neshaminy and North Penn are really locked in that battle for that second playoff spot coming out of the Suburban 1 League Conference. So 27-24 is your final score. And stay with us as we have a special treat for you. The Marching Knights are going to do their show post-game. We'll have that for you after this.
They've given us a label, Generation X, Generation Nothing. Why not wear a label that does mean something?
We're back at a jubilant Crawford Stadium. Not only was it homecoming night, but it was also a great night for North Penn's football team as they pick up a huge 27-24 win over the Central Bucks East Patriots. And Joe, you can't ask for a better finish than that.
You're right. It's the second week in a row the Knights have really stepped up in the second half. They just came back from behind. They never gave up. They showed a lot of heart, especially from the captain, Nate Vielhauer, just to get in that end zone and just score the touchdown. The whole game was pretty much an evenly matched game. There were big plays on both sides of the ball. Brian Scott really didn't let us down. He had a very good game. Heike Johnson really surprised us a little bit. He came out running really well. And Tom Peritosi had his best game of the year passing with about 180-some yards.
Yeah, and really, Joe, I think one of the biggest plays in this game was that accidental completion to Heike Johnson that turned into about a 40-yard gain for the Knights, and they never looked back once that happened.
You're right. It was like a misread that turned into a good thing for North Penn. Heike Johnson was just waiting for the ball on the other side of Brian Scott and the other cornerback, and that just happens sometimes in football.
So North Penn improves to 6-1 on the year, and the Central Bucks East Patriots will drop to 4-4. They're at 500 right now, and they're basically out of the playoff picture right now. A disappointing season for the usually strong CB East Patriots. So North Penn next week will be playing another huge game. Neshaminy is the opponent. Of course, Neshaminy is ranked number 9 in the area this week. North Penn is number 10 in the area. Neshaminy played at Abington tonight, or hosted Abington tonight, I beg your pardon. And that's usually a win for most teams in the area, as Abington is 0-7 this week. So Jim Dietz, the quarterback of Neshaminy, and Antoine Lovelace, his favorite target, will bring their game to Crawford Stadium next week in another Suburban 1 League battle. A look at some final stats for the game. North Penn Knights had 370 total yards, 211 rushing, 123 passing. And Central Bucks East only had 296 yards. So that's it for now. 27-24 your final score. And we'll leave you with the North Penn Knights tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. For Joe Alcaro, I'm Kyle Berger. So long, everybody.
Is the band ready? Marching Knights, you may take the field in exhibition.
A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe that this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect this house to fall. But I do expect that it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. Abraham Lincoln, 1861.
July 14, 1861. Dear Sarah, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Unless I would not be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write you a few lines that may fall under your eye when I am no more. My dear Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables, nothing but omnipotence can break. And yet, my love of country moves over me like a strong wind, and bears me irresistibly with all those chains to the battlefield. If I do not return, my dear Sarah, never forget how much I loved you, nor that when my last breath escapes me on the battlefield, it will whisper your name. Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone, and wait for me, for we shall meet again. For us here today, to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us. That for these honored dead, we take and increase devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these men shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Tomorrow, in the afternoon and evening, the Marching Knights are attending a competition at Rutgers University.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-CALL-EDF for your free Buy Recycled shopping guide. 1-800-CALL-EDF.
I know I'm not who you're expecting, but I am Michael Jordan, chairman of the board of the College Fund. By keeping tuition costs down, bright, deserving kids get a shot at going to college. Because let's face it, no matter how gifted you are,
we all could use a little help. Please support the College Fund. Mine is a terrible thing to waste.
Want to go one-on-one?
I've seen my candidates win. I've seen them lose. I vote, I say my piece.
I listen to a lot of big mouths every day. You know what? My vote speaks louder.
I can't always speak my mind at work, right? But in the voting booth, I can say anything I want.
Listen, that's what my vote says. That's pretty satisfying.
On Election Day, vote for your candidate, vote for your country, but most of all, vote for yourself.